I'm a sheep.
No, I didn't realize what that was.
Yeah, it's a toilet paper. He made those.
I make it like this. How my toilet paper is in my toilet. Like this one is a sheep that I created.
He's got a bunch of sheep watching, looking at him when he's pooping.
I brought 30 like this to Israel, but the toilet paper here is different than in Berlin, so I need to basically do it in a different size.
Oh, it has a different roll size? Like the standard?
Yes, I was living in the United States, and I think one of the first things that I noticed when I came back to Israel is like, oh, the toilet paper is different.
I thought that was universal.
No. It has more girth here, which means less paper.
Dude, I love Trump. Like, I really like what he's doing with everything, and I think he's so fucking brilliant.
Does he make you horny?
Yeah, he does. I've always said that he's hot. And I think the same of Netanyahu and Putin as well. Whether you love him or hate him, like Putin is also a very good strategist. Like, these guys are smart, and I am so happy to live in this time of history. You know, I think it's thrilling.
Yeah,
well, the problem with your foreign policy says you need to get laid.
The problem with what?
With your foreign policy is that you need to get laid.
My foreign leader.
I think you'd understand my point if you were sexually attracted to the leader of China.
No.
I'm going to send you some Chinese premiere porn.
What about Yasser Arafat?
Oh, no.
No,
I truly feel that these three guys are super attractive. Like, I am sapiosexual, you know, so where I see competence and determination and strategy in a man, it's just like, wow, that's, to me, it's really hot. It doesn't matter what you look like you're just.
So you like the Jews?
Huh? The what?
So you like the Jews?
Yeah, that's the reason why I always say that Mossad is super hot, and the IDF as well. Like, it's that kind of like thinking and intelligence is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, but have you ever dated a Jewish guy before?
Yeah, but for a short time in Guatemala. I was probably in my not early 20s. It was before coming to Europe. It was, yeah, early 20s. It was probably like 24 or something like that. It was just for a couple of months. It was more like a good friend of mine. But I didn't understand shit about Judaism, and honestly, I wasn't even aware of anything. I was just like a little zombie.
Segment real quick, because go ahead.
I'm very much looking forward to see what happens. This is so fucking exciting. I don't know. I just hope that the Democrats really stay away from power for a couple of decades, so that all of these could be really cemented, in the minds of the people, and there's this kind of like free market, individual rights and stuff gets really cemented in the minds of people in the new generation. So that, because if the next president is going to be a Democrat, all of this is going to go to shit again. There has to be some time where all of these kind of like settles before any other crazy people taking over.
Good luck with that.
Huh?
So good luck with that. I think you're going to be disappointed.
I hope not. Oh my God! And Marco Rubio is also super hot. Like, he is one of the most impressive guys in this administration.
He really is doing an amazing job.
Yeah. He should be Secretary of State forever.
No, he should be president.
No, I think he's more useful as the Secretary of State.
No, he needs to be president.
Happy
He
Easter!
wants to be president. He actually is endorsing JD.
He's not.
My
He
God,
did
so
already
happy.
endorse JD.
Your English is
Yeah,
coming
but
along
whether
so
he's
good. Your
going to
English
run, and
skills
he
are
says
getting
that
so good.
he's going to support JD's candidacy.
Yeah, that's fine. He said that, but he needs to run. He needs to be president, and J.D. Vance needs to be out of government.
JD Vance?
My God, why do you hate JD?
Yeah, what do you have against JD Vance?
Because he's a fucking retard and an anti-Semite.
How is he an anti-Semite?
I've already covered this with you. They're really going to start calling you Dory.
Well, when
I
you
don't
cover
think he's automatically an anti-Semite just because he says that anti-Semitism is not a big problem.
Oh, because of that. Dude, you throw out the anti-Semitism tag way too
Really? Who else in politics elected do I call an anti-Semite?
Mondavi?
Don't gaslight the room about me. There's literally no one else in an elected office I call an anti-Semite. Not one.
When I had my
Well,
volume off,
I don't
who
think
did
that
we call
means
an
that.
anti-Semite?
Sorry, what?
I had my volume off. Who did we call an anti-Semite?
JD
J.D.
Vance.
Vance.
So, I'm not sure. I know why you would call him an anti-Semite. It definitely looks like it, but I think he's such a political weasel and just blows with the wind. I'm not sure if I can ever figure out what he really believes.
What religion is his wife? Is she a Hindu?
Hindu.
Yeah, she's a Hindu. And I'm fine with him hoping that she converts to Catholicism. I don't find that strange at all.
Well, didn't he marry her before he converted?
Well, he was Christian. He was a Protestant, and he converted to Catholicism after he was married.
Fine. So he wasn't so religious. He was Protestant. He didn't really care. And then when he
And
started
also
caring,
tap
he divorced
dancer.
his wife. Fine, but then he didn't divorce his wife after he started caring. That makes sense. That's not like.
I don't know that he was irreligious as a Protestant, though. He was just a Protestant. I think he was religious then.
Well, he definitely wasn't religious enough
Yeah,
to make
tap
sure
dancer,
that.
but being a Protestant is like, I don't know.
But he wasn't religious enough to care that what a religious life was.
Apparently.
Yeah, I don't understand that as an attack on him at all.
At the end of the day, he's another woke right faggot. And just like all the other woke right faggots that need to be pulled out of elected office, there's no role for them.
Here's my issue with him. He's afraid to.
Does using the word faggot make you a homophobe?
And if,
Yes.
here's the problem.
But I did offer to be bought for a blowjob earlier today, so probably not so much.
The problem with him is he's afraid to push away the groypers because he wants this quote-unquote big tent and more likely putting his finger on the wind and trying to see where the party goes. But he's pushing away all the people that joined, all the Latinos that joined, all the black people that joined. The Republican tent has gotten very large, And for these like in the basement people who actually propose voting for Kamala Harris because they're anarchists, he's giving up a much more important coalition. So call him what you want. He's not doing the Republican Party any favors by allowing the Civil War to fester.
Yeah, that's right. And he's an anti-Semite. And he's also disloyal to Trump at the end of the day.
Was anyone trying? Sorry.
No, we can move that off him. He's not loyal to anyone. He's a political weasel. He was a never Trumper until he became a MAGA, and then he'll switching in.
But so was Marco Rubio.
In a very different way. Marco Rubio had principled disagreements with Trump. Came around when the party switched, and he did it as I'm joining this coalition. Here's where I disagree. Here's where I do agree. And when he does his job, he does it within his own philosophy. And he took the job in the administration. That is the Republican Party. The Republican Party is a coalition party. You don't have to agree with everything your boss does. Vance did it as a VP, which is different. He never admitted what changed. He never said, I really actually believe where the party is, which would be fine. He just floats around. If he was a Democrat, you'd be making fun of him in the exact same way I am.
I still like him. I think he would be a good president. I think he comes across as strong and determined, and I think that, well, I mean, the president is never the only one making the decisions. Like Trump, of course, has an amazing team around him. But if JD would be president, he would have the presence, and he would surround himself as well by a lot of people, potentially also Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is going to be in the government until he dies.
JD Vance is extremely intelligent. He's a very accomplished politician. He's going to go far. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's not a respectable person. I respect Bernie Sanders more than I respect him. The guy stuck on principle.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. He had his idea. It was terrible to destroy America. He stuck with it. He didn't care when he was in total political isolation, independent from a state that nobody even remembered existed. He was the same guy when it became stronger. He ran up against Hillary Clinton and nearly won. It was cheated because he stuck with his idea from beginning to end. He never changed. J.D. Vance takes a poll every morning, looks at where the party is, and that becomes his position. Right now, we're in a populist moment, so he's the hillbilly elegy. Guarantee you, as soon as if this country would say, we like you elitists, he'd be telling everyone that he's a heel catcher. That's what he is. He's we've seen multiples of these politicians in the past.
He's a right-wing leftist. He's really not different than Mamdani. A really great speaker, looks good in a suit, and will lie to your face, but do it in a very charismatic way. He's Republican Mamdani.
His entire speech at the convention, his opening speech, "Here who I am," said, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help. The government failed my mom and I'm going to come help you." The only difference between Mamdani and J.D. Vance is Mamdani wants the government to help cat ladies and he wants the government to help working moms. That's it. And both government interventionists, big government people.
Wow, I didn't know that you guys thought like this about JD.
Speaking of Mondavi, the New York Post today said that he wants to install bidets.
That's a Hawaiian David, but I understand why you got confused.
Why do you call him Mandavi?
Not Mamdafi.
Yeah, he said he wants to install bidets at Gracie Mansion.
What?
Huh?
Bidets. It's kind of like a toilet, but backwards.
I don't understand, but okay.
He wants to install bidets in Gracie Mansion.
Oh, correct.
And how? Okay.
I'm not sure this is actual news or if David's just trolling. And in either case, it really is irrelevant. It doesn't add anything to the conversation.
So if Trump said that help is on its way, when do you think it will happen? Tonight?
Expected
Because yesterday,
sometime.
the Pentagon presented him with options, and I can assume that he selected an option, and then he tweeted that help is on its way. And I'm just wondering, when will this happen?
Have they been mobilizing some, how do you say, these big ships that they have parked around Yemen and all these places?
Not warship.
Yeah.
What do they call it?
I don't know.
Carrier?
Yeah, the carriers.
The Armadas. Yeah, where are those Armadas?
They are not close yet. And if they are moved, then it will be noticed. And also to move the bombers, it will be noticed. But they have it will either be like a targeted, like against the leaders of the regime, if they have like eyes on them, or I guess against some kind of a command center or like a siege building or something like this. I don't think it will be like a major strike.
Didn't Iran try to sink the USS Cole by using like a small boat?
That was Al Qaeda.
Sorry, I couldn't participate. What did I miss?
And I know that in Israel they are preparing for that option of like an attack.
Yeah, Israel said that they were going in as well. They were supporting Trump.
Yeah, well, we are kind of keeping quiet. It's just more like preparing and being in sync with the Americans. But also, once they prepare to launch, we know that. So we will get like a head notice before the alarms that there's a preparation. That they fuel up the rocket or they put the launchers out or stuff like this. We see this in advance.
You
And also, it takes time for them. Yeah.
You guys are like an angry cock, like the male chicken, like just waiting for someone to tell you, let's go for the fight.
Rooster is.
No, actually, cock is fine. I'm fine with cock.
How do you say that, Andre?
I said it's a rooster, not a cock.
A rooster, yeah, thank you. But cock is also the chicken.
Daniel, you're half right about Trump's meeting. He did select an option, but now they have to wait for Netanyahu to approve it.
I doubt it.
I saw that.
We all know the Jews run America.
I saw that President Trump did an interview with the New York Times, and he said any anti-Semites are not allowed in the MAGA movement. He said, get out.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, but you cannot then call anti-Semites every single person that disagrees.
No, but most of them are anti-Semites. Maybe they don't know it. Maybe they don't hate Jews. But when you are filled with anti-Jewish propaganda, I don't hate Jews. My friends are Jewish. I just think the Jews control the world, the media, and are like
Listen. I think that anybody has the right to hate whoever they want, but you don't have the right to act and prevent someone from their rights. So I don't care if someone
I have a right
they hate you with all their heart, but they don't have the right to go and impede you to do your rights, and impeding your freedom and your...
Everybody's talking about fucking rights.
Then
You got no fucking rights.
And when they're calling for violence for Jews, 100%, that should never be allowed.
Listen, guys, I'm so sorry. Issa, I'm truly sorry. I would just have to mention this. It's one sentence. Have you guys heard the new numbers of how many Iranians have been killed in the last 48 hours by the regime?
Yes, 12,000.
Minimum 12,000.
Yeah,
our internet is also down, Vegas. We all live in holes, and we certainly aren't talking about the most pressing matter the world has.
Exactly.
This is 12,000. Minimum 12,000.
Yes, we already heard.
Yeah, we all read the article.
You're not breaking any news.
Where were the guys who chanted for Palestine all these 2 years?
We all read the article at Iran International. We're up to date, Vegas.
Why would they? The Free Palestine movement is about taking down the West. and Iran is helping them, so they will not. This is why they don't speak out against Iran, because Iran is part of their axis. It's not about human rights, or it's not about children dying or whatever. It's none of this. It's about destabilizing the West and taking down Israel.
One of the reasons why I think Iran is not going to work without boots on the ground is because they've been without any democratic institutions for way too long. The difference to me with Venezuela is that Venezuela still has a generation that has a memory of institutionalized democracy and working democratic institutions, and they will have like a transitional.
The difference between revolutions is 10 years. And at the end of the day, you can think what you want to think. No one's putting 150,000 boots on the ground. You can think.
Listen, Jeff, if it's not happening, it's going to be a quagmire. And I would really prefer it not to be. And,
it's going to be a quagmire.
And that's very unfortunate. Because you need at least one new generation that understands how those institutions work and is willing to uphold them. I mean, it's the same problem with Eastern Europe. When the Soviet Union fell down, they needed to impose like a very strict type of institutionalized democratic process, and that's why Poland has, it had an internal memory also, and it had basically a shadow government that was working on the Soviets. So their transition was much easier, and they have much better results than, let's say, like Czech Republic, for example.
We got pork in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what I expect is the revolution hopefully will work. And if that works, I think you'll see some period of fragmentation of Iran, some level of lack of stability. And in 10 years, we may get back to a stable region there. But it's the price that has to be paid in order to get to progress and to get to stability in the region.
I mean, what I'm afraid of, Jeff, and that's obviously the worst case scenarios I'm looking at, is the power vacuum that is filled by Iran's neighbors, and then their regimes are installed, but because Iranians will be looked at as a second-rate citizens, is basically going to be like, the good old 17th, 18th century colonization, or the internal, since there's no memory of the internal democratic institutions, like the new power, whoever it is going to come in and do the same kind of shit, just under a different flag as the, theocracy.
I take issue with your basic foundational assumption that there's no memory. You're talking about revolutions that are literally, I just double checked, 20 years apart. The folks who were free in Iran are in their 60s and 70s, but they're still there. They've still taught their children what Iran used to be. I mean, all you have to do is talk to any Iranian, not even in Iran. These people are brought up with they know that history, all of them, so much better than any of us do from wherever our parents came from. This assumption they don't know democratic institutions. Fine, guess what? They might not be a democracy, and that's okay. It's okay. They might not be a democracy. They might have some other form of government that works for them until they choose democracy. The important thing is to get rid of these evil animals. Then we can move forward from there.
Yeah, I'm just a bit, given the historical precedent, I'm a little bit pessimistic if the United States or Israel not going to take over that region and install some sort of controlled
environment. I mean, they're not Arabs. And that's the only thing I can say. They're not Arabs. They won't accept an installed leader. Like, you can't think of them like they're Arabs.
I got you. I mean, I'm not talking about installed leader per se. I'm talking about the infrastructure that is controlled by somebody else who is kind of teaching the institution to the population. I mean, they do have, like, I absolutely grant you, they do have intention, the motivation to transition, but they do not have a place.
That the United States and Israel will assist with.
Because they never had democracy in the region, and democracy is a contingent on the.
They may not want democracy, Andre. Why
don't they fucking Western?
If they choose democracy, the United States and Israel will be there to help them institute it. What will not happen is the 250,000 boots on the ground to direct traffic and force democracy down their throats. But if they're ready to build institutions and need help writing a constitution, the United States will be there. If they want to try to build waterworks, so Tehran's not on the brink of a drought, they have to talk about who will be the capital. Israel will be there to help them be civilized. That help will be there. That's a very, very big difference in Iraq.
It's nothing like Iraq or Afghanistan or any other thing.
I think they will choose democracy, but that's a guess. We'll see. I think it'll be.
I think so too.
I think it'll be like a constitutional democracy. I think it's going to have the institution of a king. They had that for thousands of years. They're not the United States. But I think there will be ultimately a level of democracy.
That's what I was thinking. Some sort of like constitutional monarchy or something like that.
How many religious minorities do they have in Iran?
Half the country is minorities. The lowest 50% of the country is Persian.
Okay, so they have ethnic division, they have religious division.
They don't have ethnic division. They don't.
I mean, wait, hold on. Some of the people, from what I understand, some of the people are Persian, some of the people are Arab.
Yeah, but there's Kurds, there's
so
Arab.
So there's Lars, there's Balochis, there's.
Yeah, but you have to understand. There's Azeris, but there's ethnic diversity. But they were a country for a very, very long time. There's strong nationalism. The Kurds, the Persians, the Azeris, they consider themselves Iranian. So that's a big difference than saying ethnic strife like Serbia.
Wait, Persians are not Arabs?
Most of them are not Arabs, no.
There was the one area in the Middle East that refused to Arabize.
It's the thing that, once again, what worries me, because that whole region is very much tribalistic. And I wonder how much of that.
Andre, you really have to stop thinking. You have to really stop thinking of them like they're Arabs, because everything is wrong you're saying because you think they're Arabs. They're not a tribal society. They are not a tribal society. They're not Arabs.
Jeff, what I'm saying is, if you have Arabs in the mix, they will be tribalistic. Don't you think so?
Arabs are 11% of the population. They're among the poorest. They live in the hinterlands. You want to make it fit into a neat narrative, well, you need to do some research on it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if there's going to be right in there. But that's my prediction.
And in fairness, I have to say, I think it's the first time I've ever thought you were dead wrong on anything, to this degree. So I'm sorry I'm being short with you, because I actually do respect you on most things, very much. But you're dead wrong on every part of how you're trying to understand this.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm frustrated with people that compare everything to Iraq, so I got a little short there also, but I do respect your opinion, and I think it's just miseducation of this particular part of the region. And I don't know, this PTSD from Iraq, that every single involvement has to be compared to Iraq, and is just getting to me to a level that.
No, I totally Mayor, I totally get it. And the thing is, I don't have PTSD from Iraq because I'm actually, I thought it was a good thing. I just think it was handled poorly on the end portion of it. But I think it was a necessary thing to do. I'm not isolationist. I'm interventionalist for sure. And I don't think the United States should shy away from being a maritime empire. There's nothing bad about it.
What could go wrong?
Well, listen. I mean, I understand the Great Britain as an example, as a poor example of that type of approach. But I also think the United States have learned from British mistakes.
Yeah, I think I also have a visceral reaction to this Western idea that everything needs to immediately be a democracy. It's like not culturally sensitive at all. And there are a lot of things between a democracy and what the IRGC is that we can find acceptable, and that would be a hell of a lot better for the Iranian people. So this idea that we make it black and white, good and bad, like I think it's contrary to a solution for the problems of today. And I think it makes it harder for the people who actually want a revolution, want progress, when we kind of paint it as, well, you can be a democracy or you can live with the people gunning you down in the streets.
What sometimes worries me is that also, just like with the Ukrainian example, right? The people wanted on the surface to have...
Exactly. It's got nothing to do with Iran. It's got to do with fucking Ukraine. Put the boots on the ground in Ukraine is what he's saying. Bitch, damn, we lost everything in Ukraine.
But in general, the paradigm, the internal paradigm has not shifted, or has not shifted yet. And so all the old problems are coming out in play. This is why the process is extremely difficult, especially in the process of war. And so, like any kind of society that is going through that transition, it's always a difficult period. It's always sometimes even bloody period. And just minimizing it, I think, should be a goal.
Hello, Mochi. I am very excited about the potential future of Iran, actually, and Venezuela. I don't know. I think that this is going to change the panorama so much around the world.
Yeah. Well, can you give me a brief of what's happening in Iran? I mean, I think that my understanding is people are protesting and they want to, live more democratically. Is that true?
Have you read the news, or are you expecting for us to do the job for you?
Well, I was expecting a brief on it. But no, it's okay if you don't want to give me. I'll read it.
Somewhere between 4,000 and 12,000 protesters have been gunned down in the streets over the last 4 days.
Yikes. Yeah,
but then you should go read.
Yeah, I'll read it. Yeah, it's a difficult situation. Thanks.
Compared to 2022, is your faith that something's going to change just based on the larger scale of casualties?
It's not only a larger scale, dude. Like 2022 was about the hijabs. And people were protesting because it was something internal and like, yeah, well, we don't want to be oppressed, whatever. This time, it's about change, regime change. The whole country is mobilizing. They're putting their lives on the table, and right now they know that that the US and Israel both have got their backs. I think that this time is serious. This is the closest that they will be in the near future to have an opportunity like this.
That's true. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Hey guys. So I think it's to be fair. Not everyone that is on the streets, and I'm saying this as a Persian, necessarily went on the streets because they want regime change. It started with the protesters in the bazaar. The rial is basically worthless at this point. People have no water, people have no money. And for a lot of them, it's basically about that. So it's convoluted, and now it's obviously made popularized on social media, and it became mainly about regime change. But initially, this is not why the people went on the streets. But obviously, this is what a lot of them are demanding right now. So it's really complex and complicated. I know that the hardcore monarchists say everyone on the street is calling Pahlavi's name and things like that. It's not black and white like that.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it's multi-layered, but in the end, like, this is what they kind of like end up wanting. Like, there might be different views, I think, on why people are doing it, but I think that all of them agree that they want to stop living like that.
Correct, yeah.
And it's exciting. I think it's I see them as heroes right now. Like, all these people knowing how evil and thugs the IRGC are, and still wanting to put their lives at risk and going out, knowing that they can be killed, that there's a high possibility for them being killed, is massive.
So
super courageous.
This is actually one of the main differences compared to other protests in the past. Not just the wide scale in terms of not the numbers, but the amount of cities that are now involved, especially Tehran. People in the outskirts of Iran would always kind of make fun of. Sorry, I got a phone call. Do you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So people in past protests used to make fun of Tehran's population because they would rarely join in, right? And now you see protests in major cities, Tehran, Mashhad. This is significant. Not that it doesn't matter when people in the outskirts go on the streets in smaller cities. Of course it matters, but the major cities matter, right? Tehran matters, Mashhad, like the big cities, and that's what we're seeing now. And secondly, what you touched upon, Isa, is the fearlessness that we see in this round of protests more so than ever before, where people are like, we just don't care anymore. If we die, we die, and we didn't see that as much in the past.
It's very inspiring.
What was the Iraq argument that was like shut down before, when someone was like, I hate hearing it compared to Iraq? Is that like the power vacuum extremist argument?
Well, yes and no, because the thing with Iraq is like, yeah, well, they wanted to bring down Saddam, and the US helped them do that, but they never really, like, the whole thing got stuck. And also I think that US had like a lot of boots on the ground,
And so that is what I don't think it's going to happen in Iran. I don't think that the U.S. is going to take over the control of the government. I think they will kind of help them, but not necessarily intervene too much. But I don't know. It's just my hunch.
But if you support a coup without providing resources after the coup, that's where America did that in Iraq. It ended up being a never-ending process.
Yeah, that's the exact argument that got shut down.
What did you say?
That was just restating what Andre said. The problem isn't taking out the dictator. The problem is not supporting the establishment of order afterwards. And it's all based on confusing Iranians as Arabs. They're not Arabs. They're going to figure out their solution. They don't need us.
No, yeah, I think they also have
only work backwards.
They also have a far more functioning government and military. I don't think that power vacuum will have whoever is the next leader of Iran. It might not be democratically elected. It might be someone who is picked at the end of the day. I think that they have a lot more hopes for success than whoever our hand-picked puppets were in Iraq. Far less superior Air Force, Army, etc. So, I get the argument that it's a false equivalent, but...
Yeah, the real question has to be, how do we best support a viable path to a stable Iran in the nearest future? And, Iraq is not a model that should be taken as terribly informative in that conversation, because there are incredible differences between the two societies.
I meant more of an infrastructure possibility, because I'm assuming the borders between Iraq and Afghanistan that Iran shares with them, I'm assuming those are heavily monitored, right?
I don't know about heavily. I think you also have a lot of very well-established Iranians in the West who, interestingly enough, are at an age where they can go spend 6 months or a year to go help. It's premature to talk about that, but most of my Iranian friends are just retired and are more looking for things to do. Interesting.
You know the old kind of hacky joke about Persians and they all drive white Mercedes and they refuse to call themselves Iranian. Are most Persians are from what would be considered modern day Iran, right?
Yeah.
And they've been a very successful community in America.
And the Persians like to drive BMW, not Mercedes.
Iranians, yeah.
But they are white BMWs, right, David?
Last year when I was in Silicon Valley, I met a lot of Iranians actually there that are very involved in big tech and big venture capitalist funds, and Iranians are amazing. Iranians are very educated. They're not the typical Arab, as Jeff was saying. They're not Arabs.
Yeah, wasn't it back in the 70s or 80s when Iran had women attending colleges and
they still have that.
In fact, do you remember, Jeff, that I tell you that I work with a couple of Qatari companies? Well, the guys, the founders of these two startups, they're Iranian, actually. they're not Qataris, they're not Arabs. They're Iranians.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, no, Pat, Iran has one of the most educated workforces in the world.
Yeah, no, it's but it got like religiously oppressed like during like the 70s, right?
Yeah, but that didn't mean that they didn't invest in education. Women still go to college. They just have to go in burqas.
Yeah.
And this is, I think that Iran might have the larger amount or the larger colony, to call it like that, of ex-Muslims, right?
I think the last numbers that seemed actually reliable-ish were that only 20% of Iranians in Iran consider themselves to be Muslim.
Exactly, and it's a Muslim country, so everyone is against that because they're thinkers, and it's not because of hate or anything. They're born Muslim, but they educate themselves, they read, they understand, and they reject the religion.
I just remember one thing that stood out at the last World Cup was that the Iranian women who were in the audience were fucking beautiful. They were Latinas with like green eyes, and like I was like, what?
Yeah, like Hala. And Yael.
Well,
Yael's like a quarter, but yes.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. And unlike Latinas, you probably wouldn't have to worry about like an Iranian chick stabbing you.
Yes, you would.
Oh, you would?
Yes, you would.
All right.
Yes, don't make me clarify.
Still worth it. Still worth it. Like,
Iranian women are the Puerto Ricans of the Middle East
with green eyes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I can't say anything more. I signed an NDA.
Yeah. Roya is Iranian as well, right?
Yep.
Who else is
I didn't say that, you did. Hope.
Oh, Hope?
Hope is half, yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know this.
Yes.
Yeah, there are many Iranians in the app. All of them.
Rumar is Iranian.
Yeah. Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't know that either. I thought he was Indian.
Half Indian, half Iranian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are a lot of Iranians. There is one, this guy that I used to talk to very, very seldom times, but he was very interesting. His name is Camille. He used to come to your rooms as well. That looks like Clark Kent. What? You remember Camille?
I'm not remembering that guy.
Well, he is Iranian as well, very well educated and interesting. Very quiet, but very interesting when he would speak.
They're basically all very well educated.
Crazy idea.
Yeah, look at Samson as well. Samson is Iranian.
Crazy idea on some regime changes. Like, and at least I'm not like regurgitating 30,000. It's a completely unique thought. But like, imagine like Iran's regime is overthrown, and they're like, who's going to be next to guide us? Imagine the people who like immigrated from places like that, who like came to other societies, did well, and were successful in life, and they ran like we pitched. So like in America, I'm sure we have like 4 Iranian or Persian immigrants who were successful in America. And we could put those up for nomination. England probably has a couple, and France, and like there's probably like successful Iranians who had to leave because of they were worried about being persecuted, and they can come home like the conquering heroes, and they can be elected. Like they have to go and pitch to the people, and like American and there's like I feel like that regime change would be beneficial to like the Western world and its allies.
And we need to start with. Virtually any replacement is going to be better than what they have.
Yeah, exactly. But then also, like, why not make it be beneficial? You know?
Well, I mean, first of all, it will be beneficial. Importing a bunch of big fish from small ponds who haven't been in the country for 60 years. I mean, look, what you're doing is basically what the plan is, what you're suggesting. It's Reza Shah has, for all intents and purposes, been an American for most of his life. He still has an accent, but most likely that's because he chooses to keep it. Right? Like, I think he was, 17 when he moved to America? So, I mean, that's essentially the transition plan is to bring back some of the previous folks to help with the transition.
Something that gives consistency to the people in Iran as well, something that they sort of know, and someone that they already know, and I don't know, I think it's necessary to feel a little bit of stability. That will help a lot, actually.
I think ultimately they need to land on some federal system, some weak confederacy where you have a very weak federal government and a lot of independence for the various regions, that they can all still be Iranian, but they can do it their way to a certain degree. That probably is the most powerful combination for these people, at least initially.
Yeah.
Andre got played like a bitch.
Is anyone here friends with Emerald and can ping her in?
No, but I saw her before in this room.
Yeah, I met her
for a little bit.
I met her in rooms when she gets, like, now, yesterday was in Buttercup room and now in Lumi and Prince. So they do like a Palis versus Zionist, where when I speak literally, whenever I unmic and they say, I will give you time, a minute and a half. So after a minute and a half, one time I got, she gets like 5 minutes. And then when I come to reply, I get a minute and a half. After like 3 seconds, like 3 people jump on me. And then it removes me down because I continue speaking while they're speaking. So I invited her if she wants to have a fair debate, but I cannot invite her to a room, unfortunately.
Okay, so I saw her yesterday in Buttercup's room, and I opened her profile, and I was not following her, but apparently my other profile is following her. So she's friends with the other Ethan. Let me see if I can get in here with my other.
Well, maybe I can find her.
So I can ping her in. Because my other account for sure is following her because I noticed that yesterday. But I opened her profile and I read that she's an anti-Zionist Israeli. So she is from Israel.
Who are you talking about? What's her name?
I don't know, but she and Buttercup became close yesterday. Good friends.
She's disgusting. She's notorious from X.
I don't know. What's her name?
Just Ambrose. That's what she goes by.
Ambrose.
Does she live in Israel or does she live in the U.S.?
Israel. She's the epitome of the self-hating Jew. She might as well be the spawn of Amos.
No, Amos's kids are normal. I hate them.
I don't think that Amos is necessarily, like anti-Zionist, but he is naive. Like he wants everybody to get along and whatever. I don't know.
He's none of those things. He's just a narcissist who wants his opinion to be the only valid opinion. If it was unpopular to be a far-right Zionist, that's what he would be.
Yeah, but he's not very good at it. Like, he doesn't come up with good arguments and like thought-provoking and challenging. He just spews nonsense.
Yeah, he's the left version of Shuki.
Yeah, Shuki spews nonsense as well.
Is he still on this app?
No, thank God, he's been ethically cleansed.
I like Shuki when it comes to Emrose. He can take her. Emrose made a big name for herself. You guys all remember Nelson on the app, right? Well, when Nelson moved over to X and he was doing huge, hundreds up to like thousands of people in his room. And he was doing every single day. Like, Nelson went from, he was really doing good and learning a lot, having a lot of smart people on the stage, like John Spencer on the stage.
Her Magen David is short of point.
Yeah. Everything is short of point. Magen David lose, yeah.
Okay, I just put in with my other account.
She's so mid.
Oh my God, Madruta is here. It's time to end the room.
What does it mean?
Oh,
I don't know.
He's not that bad.
He's one of those.
Okay, I'm making more juice today. I'm heading to the mitzvah right now. Mazel tov. Yeah.
Tomorrow there is a huge demonstration in Israel to support the Iranian people.
Oh, nice.
And I think there's one in New York City.
I was in the Matrix, but I was going to say that I prefer Buttercup over in Matt.
Oh. That's
Did Buttercup have another name? Did Buttercup have another name?
The Antichrist.
She's sort of new, Illuminati. She came in August. So that's the only name she's had.
It's like her
but there's a girl that has the same voice.
But her voice sounds...
Yeah, because she sounds like Elle.
There's a girl called, like Bubbles.
Bubbles. Yeah, she was Elle. Her name is Elle. Yeah. She was before Elle.
Or as Amos says, Booblers. Seriously, this is how it goes.
She doesn't
He doesn't even know what. He doesn't even know what he's saying.
But I went into her room yesterday as I guess it was ending, and she apparently thought I was someone else, but she doesn't know me. And she looked at my profile, and I have nothing on my profile yet. She's still determined. Oh, it's a pro-Israel Illumi. And it's like, okay.
Well, yesterday, you are shitting on Mamdani, so one can assume that you don't hate the Jews.
He used to have to pay for that before he was married to get shit on his chest.
I mean, technically, I'm not hitting on him. I'm just highlighting his own,
accomplishments.
Yeah.
I think that my best Buttercup moment was when she didn't really know me, but she hated me already. She came into our room and said, Isa, do you think that you're more Jewish than me? And I'm like, no, because I'm not Jewish. But she formed herself a whole puzzle in her head about me. I thought that was hilarious.
But Isa, the answer is yes.
Probably yes. Yesterday, whenever like a Zionist came on stage, she introduced him as a radical and a bad-faced actor. Everybody. She's really like a sick woman. Like seriously, like sick in the head. Not sick as in like sick. Like there's something wrong with her.
I called it. I have a lot of history with sick women. I can see them from a mile away. I'm an amateur expert in sick women. Sick people, I guess.
I said Palestinianism, and Ambrose said, don't say Palestinianism. Then I said Israeli Arab. Don't say Israeli Arabs. Like, bitch. Like, what do you want? It's a Zionist term.
You know, last night I was listening to you for what seemed like hours, Daniel, in Amir's room.
Sometimes I feel like...
You remind me of a young Norm.
Me? Yesterday? Today?
Last night.
In the morning.
Norm went hours without talking.
Well, I wasn't in the room. I was listening to John Kitover's feed. Hours. There's about 10 hours of it on. And
no, I didn't speak for hours. I cannot speak hours in Amir's room.
No,
not allowed.
He speaks for like 30 seconds.
Yes, I don't
speak over him, but you kept on, then you got a few phone calls, then you came back.
Yes, yeah.
And one part of it,
this morning.
I wanted to say, and I didn't want you to take this the wrong way, something I've said before. I hate you because you're better than me, and I don't like that.
But I'm fighting for you. Thank you, but I'm fighting for you too. I'm fighting for both. I'm on your team.
I accept that, and I agree, and I appreciate it enormously. But, I like to be the best. And then the other thing is, I actually could see that he was annoying you a little bit because this part of you, this is such an interesting part of the Jewish people. You're actually trying to be reasonable against all
Computer set alarm for 12:10.
I asked them, what does from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free? How does it go in Arabic? And they wouldn't say, it's not from the water and water. Okay, forget about it. How does it end? Palestina Arabia or not? They wouldn't answer it. I asked it like 20 times. There were many Arab speakers. None of them told me because they knew that once they tell me, it would expose their real narrative, which is they are Arabs, not Palestinians, which is what Ambrose doesn't like. The reason that I call Israeli Arabs is because there were no Palestinians when they became Israeli Arabs. They were Arabs. They were called Arabs of Palestine. And then they became Arabs of Israel.
No, my grandmother was Palestinian. Sorry.
But wait, do they say that Palestinians are not Arab?
No, but they are.
Yes, they say that if we say Palestinians, we deny their identity.
Their humanity.
If we say Arabs, I'm sorry.
How dare you deny their identity they made up in 1966?
Yeah, Johnny was like that.
And then she said something amazing. This is the sentence that she said. I wrote it down. Palestinians, I'm not sure that she even understood what she's saying. Palestinians, yes, are the Jews of the Middle East. This is what she said.
What does it mean?
Good. I think Jews are Jews.
Basically, like, exactly. But she missed that part, okay? Basically, like, prosecuted, like, yada, 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 like, they are the victims. or the prosecuted group, but the Jews of the Middle East are the Jews of the Middle East. Like, what are you talking about?
No,
you forgot about your nation?
Daniel, I think you misunderstood her point. I think she was saying, to the extent that they are, in fact, legitimately Palestinians, it's because their ancestors were Jews who converted. I think she was actually taking a very pro-Zionist move with that.
I don't know what she was thinking. I don't think she thinks. It's talking points. It's like a meal. Havana agreement. Who coined the term Mizrahi? Who said anti-Semitism? Who coined the term anti-Semitism? And he was married to it. Like, it's the same talking points over and over and over and over. And it has nothing to do with what you say. I'm talking about something like about the Jews were kicked out from Arab countries. Yeah, I said like 1 million Jews were kicked out from Arab countries. Yeah, but who coined the term Mizrahi? It's Israel that coined it. I'm like, Mizrahi is a word that means from the east. Mizrach is east. Mizrahi is an eastern. Someone came from the east. It's in Hebrew. Israel invented it because Israel is the only one speaking Hebrew. It was about her own people. But it has nothing to do with the fact that 1 million Jews were ethnically cleansed during the so-called Nakba. We just been branded as a Nakba and kept on being like miserable for decades.
What point is he trying to make with Mizrahi?
He doesn't have a point. It's talking points is not having a point. It's like, and then he's like, it's Israel. Okay, so what's your point? Basically, I don't even know. Basically, he's trying to ask something, get a stupid answer, and then kind of, I'm right, you're wrong, you're stupid. Basically, this is what he says.
If I hear one more liberal white woman in America compare her struggle to fucking Iranians, I think I'm going to fucking go ballistic. I literally can't. These people, like, you let me know when there's body bags lined up in your fucking city, dipshit. Unfucking real.
Could you ping me, please, if that happens? Would you mind?
God damn. I mean, these people are, like, literally, you compared your struggle to Iranians? Are you shitting me? Damn, you'll be able to vote. You get that?
When someone gets on your wrong side, you start to tear them a new one. I feel like saying, "Oh, you don't want to do that," to the guy doing it. It's like, "Oh, that's a bad idea." Maybe you want to think about that.
These are women, Norm. These are women who are commenting. You know, people are sharing their heartfelt posts. Most of them are Iranian or have friends that are Iranian. They're sharing their heartfelt posts, and just, you can feel the emotions. And, you know, rightfully so, calling out the Western media, the UN, like, where are you? Where are you? This silence is loud and clear. And what do these women do in the comment section? We're fighting our own struggle. We're fighting for our own freedom. Are you fucking kidding me? like totally. These are people who claim to be intelligent.
Divorced from reality completely.
Anywho, okay.
If it makes you feel any better, they're not actually intelligent.
Well, no shit. I'm like, are you literally comparing your struggle? Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, my welfare ended after 72 weeks. I'm just like an Iranian woman.
My Starbucks is closed. Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They're saying, oh, we understand your pain because we're also living under a dictatorship with Trump. But at least you had a good man and whatever. Basically, they're saying that they're worse off in the U.S. than they are in Venezuela or Iran. It's ridiculous.
How come I don't see any of this stuff? I think that's anti-Semitic.
The fact that you don't see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm living with a kid who is obsessed with the problems with ICE, and she is participating in marches. I didn't know it. She flew to New York, not recently, but she went to march in New York, probably Detroit. She's marched in Bentonville, and I'm not in. I'm sorry, that's a problem. I am just flabbergasted that we want to say that you shouldn't have picked up Maduro. Oh, so, okay, but this is not my main point.
Is this your doctor, Shirley?
Yes, she is driving me crazy, Norm.
Subscribe to the live now.
Tell you is, if she was
The revolution of Iran begins.
No! It just turns out that you found out she was retarded in her 40s. Just accept it. You can't fix it. You can't change it.
Okay, but moving past that, we've heard this complaint from me many times.
Yes.
What to my point, I have always just thought, when I first met Norm and Daniel, I thought, my God, why are you people arguing with these retarded people? And then I decided that you're right, because when I was young, all the boys. Well, I thought that in the Christian faith, we have apologetics, and the boys all loved apologetics and loved being able to argue. It turns out it was a right thing. It was right for them to be able to understand their position and be able to argue their position. Have on Instagram and other social media places, we have Islamists on the internet trying to say that they are the same as Christians, that they love Jesus. It is the biggest, that is not true. Can you hear me?
It's called Tortilla. They will say Islam to advance their ideology, which is about taking basically Muslim land. Muslim land is Muslim land, is forever Muslim land, and whatever is not Muslim land is.
Yes. Well, and our prophet is that we believe is actually God, and our children should need to understand that, and they should be able to argue it and know why we believe that. And to do that, you have to be in a church that actually teaches the Old Testament. And we're failing. I went to a church with my daughter where they got up and talked. The birth of Christ was not mentioned, and they were talking about the housing problem in Bentonville. Okay, Bentonville has turned into a very rich community. Okay, and if you can't afford to live in Bentonville, you have to live in the town next door. I'm sorry. And that was the conversation. That was the pastor's talk on the day where we're supposed to be celebrating and teaching our children about the birth of Christ. The Christians are illiterate, and they're not able to argue their position. So good on you, Norm and Daniel. Keep it up.
I'll make you a deal, Shirley. After we successfully contain the Islamic threat, we'll come fix Christianity.
Well, you see, there's this thing about Judaism. You actually do learn scripture, and you do learn to argue it. And you can argue with one another. These people are not even being taught the scripture.
The funny thing is we really don't rely on scripture in the same way as Christians or Muslims do. We really don't learn, we read it, and then at that point we discuss for understanding, not for, Timothy 1:6 says, blah, 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 and therefore I'm right. Like, our approach to scripture actually is very different than Christians and Muslims.
Jeff, I I see your point, and you can't just say Timothy 1. You have to have a comprehensive knowledge of the word, and they're not getting a comprehensive knowledge. And we're better at that. That's true. You're better at that, and anyway, when I went to church with her Christmas because I thought maybe I could go be a Methodist and then support Christian values this way. Oh, hell no. I'm not sitting through what sounded like a city council meeting on Christmas Eve. No, I can't do it.
But didn't Jesus die for their two bedroom, two bath?
Okay. Oh, Jeff, don't be silly. You're trying to pull the Christian's chain. we're not gonna entertain this.
I'm actually not doing that. But wasn't the Sermon on the Mount all about having a minimal level of housing and universal health care?
Well, the leftists, which my daughter sent me an article that just said that good Christians should take care of the immigrant. Well, it does say that. And if we want to do that, we would change the laws and make immigration a fair logical process, which no one in our government wants to do that. Why? Because the real kings of the United States are people like Walmart, and they like it just the way it is. They want to be able to exploit people and keep wages down among the peon white people. Okay, so and there are some peon white people. Just saying.
I've never peed on a white person.
Peon, dear. The word is peon. You know what the word peon is. It's what they have in Mexico.
No, sometimes I hear what I want to hear.
It's like a pork.
Yeah.
They really want it to be like in Mexico, where we work for $3 a day and we like it. And groceries cost just as much as in the United States. They want the people that are in power would like it to be that way.
I think it would not be much of a stretch for me to say that the discussion concerning immigrants also invokes a responsibility not to allow immigrants in that you cannot positively fulfill the commandment to care for the immigrant. Nowhere does it say that you should let unlimited immigrants in. It just says the immigrants in your midst you should take care of.
There you go, Jeff. And I have participated in the care of immigrants. It was part of my working career. So I got a solid understanding of that. It doesn't say, let's let them in so we can prostitute them. And it says we should actually take care of them. It doesn't say, because that's what's going on. 20,000 children that flew in 2 weeks after Biden got in, they were being prostituted. Okay, poor Norm had to leave on that. I'm sorry. Yes, he's very sweet, but well, there you are, Norm. I'm from Dallas. We know all about prostitution in Dallas. We're one of the top prostitution cities in the country.
Winning. Israeli Argentina guy.
77 years old or something?
72.
70, unbelievable. That sounds like a long term.
Okay, say that again, Jeff. I missed your point. You missed that.
An old Israeli dude was arrested in Venezuela a little over a year ago, and they just released him.
این انسان‌های به تو پیوسته جون باز فداکار را هر جا هستند یار و یاور باش. خدایا این امت ما را که به این کمال نترسیدن از مرگ رسیده است.
I'm looking at some of the footage from Iran, and it is not good.
Well, I've still done a fair job of avoiding the really gruesome shit, but I've seen some of it, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Looks like we're going to go after the Muslim Brotherhood, too.
I see that. Thank you, Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio is good.
He's very good.
I have to ask you guys, who was giving Buttercup's comments today?
It was not me, but I found it very funny.
No, you guys should stop doing that. Wasn't you?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm wondering because I saw some of the comments that were left, and I'm trying to understand because people were saying like, and I'm not sure that she reacted correctly.
The way that moves as you move. Some commentary on the verse, as you start on the way appears. When you cease to be, real being becomes. Zuleika shut every door, but Joseph kept rattling the locks. He trusted and kept moving back and forth, and somehow he escaped. This is the way to slip through to your non-spatial home. Think how you came into this world. Can you explain how that was? No. The same way you came, you leave. You wander landscapes in your dreams. How did you get there? Close your eyes and surrender. Find yourself in the city of God. But you're still looking for admiration. You love how your customers look at you. You sit at the head of the assembly. When you close your eyes, you see people applauding, as surely as an owl shuts its eyes and sees the forest. You live in an admiration world, but what do you offer admirers? If you had true spirit, gifts to give, you would not think of customers. There was once a man who said, I am a prophet. In fact, I am the edge of prophecy moving through time. People surround him and tie him up and bring him before the king. What right does this man have to say that he lives in the place of revelation? The man himself speaks up. Think how an infant sleeps and grows unconsciously into awareness. Prophets are not like that. They pass awake from the source to this up and down of the five. Senses, this left, right, back and forth, put him on the rack, they scream. But the king sees that the man is thin and fragile. He speaks gently. Kindness is his way. He disperses the crowd, sits the man down and asks where he lives. My home is the peace of God, but I have come to this judging place where no one knows me. I feel like a fish upon sand. The king keeps trying to joke him out of his state, but why did you make these claims today? Was it something you ate? Don't care about world food. I am tasting God's honey. But what is there to these people? They're like mountain rocks. They scoff at me by echoing what I say. If I brought them news of money or a love note from a sweetheart, they would welcome me. But not with this prophecy talk. It's like a blood-soaked bandage on a donkey's back. The one who removes it is being helpful. But he's going to get kicked. No one here wants to be healed. Show me someone who wants what I have. But let's suppose for a moment that my inspiration is not divine. Still, you would agree my speaking is not inferior to the workings of a bee? The Quran says God has inspired thee. This universe is filled with honey. Human beings feed on it and evolve upward with the same, but more profound. Inspiration as the bee. So the man defends his claim. You have read about the inspired spring. Drink from there. Be companions with those whose lips are wet with that water. Others, even though they may be your father or your mother, are enemies. Leave before they kill you. The pathless path opens whenever you genuinely say, there is no reality but God. There is only God.
Because a lot of things were deleted, but they were talking about the 12,000 people that were killed in Iran, and then she said it's unconfirmed, it's unverified, which is true. Yes, she's right. I'm just wondering about the 70 or 300 or 200 million whatever Palestinians that died. I never heard her say like, okay, it's unverified, it's not confirmed, but with this, she was really ready to automatically like delegitimize it. Now again, I don't know if it's true. If it's 12,000 or 2,000, I really don't know. Hold on, I have a phone call. But that was my point. I have a phone.
I don't think she was making any kind of point this morning when that was happening.
No, I was in the chat apparently, but I didn't notice because I was not paying attention to the chat. I was doing something else.
It was very funny. She kept going, Issa, do something, do something.
No, that was Bibi saying, Issa, do something.
No, she said it first. Someone deleted her whining, and then he mocked her and said and wrote it again.
Okay, because when I went to scroll up on all the comments, I saw Bibi saying, Issa, do something. But I didn't notice while it was happening. So I was just wondering because
my money is it was Bibi. My money was Bibi doing it.
Yeah, me too. He loves the fuckery.
Yep. And it was just funny because she was reacting.
Yeah, but it's not cool because then Bibi wants other people to treat him well as well. Like even T-Rox, you know, he kicked him yesterday apparently out of the room. And Bibi was like, yeah, I was kicked out of the room and I was only in the audience. Well, like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. This is him. You know, I cannot control him and I was not in the room. But then Bibi does this shit as well. So
بسیجی عاشق کربلاست به کربلا را تو مپندار که شهریست در میان شهرها و نامیست در میان نامها کربلا و هیچ کس را جز یاران امام حسین علیه السلام راهی به سوی حقیقت نیست. کربلا ما را نیز در خیل کربلاییان بپذیر. ما میرویم تا بر خاک تو بوسه زنیم و آن را فرمانده
actually trump someone's rights, I would be against that, but not just because of anti-Semitism, but because that is illegal.
Yeah, but you're having a conversation.
But hold on. Let me finish.
Not relevant to what we were talking about.
My point is, okay, he's an anti-Semite. We define that. So what?
Well,
how do we move forward in the conversation?
Christine.
And you got it. Because again, I don't spend my time on the app recording.
It's not.
No. Jeff, you can criticize him all you want.
Daniel,
I don't
you
care.
have magical powers over her.
No, listen, you can criticize him all you want. We all know each other here. We've been here for years. We all know he's an anti-Semite. We know he hates the Jews. So why do we need to call it every time, for example, that he is involved in a conversation?
Because his reasoning, I mean, he says something, okay, about the Jews, and it's obviously like a black libel or just hate. So we say, okay, so he's an anti-Semite. This is what he stands on. It's not about being right or moral or humane or logic or factual. None of it. He's saying something anti-Semitic. He's all about spreading hate against the Jews, and at the end, I mean, this hate is translated into action even without going and saying, go kill the Jews. That is the situation that we live. We have... because it became legitimate to attack Jews. And we, the Jews, we don't think it's legitimate.
I get it. And I tell him all the time, like, I hate it every single fucking time when we're
You're making it about kids.
It's just annoying, but not because I care about what he feels or how he feels about people. It's just because I don't give a shit what he thinks about.
But again, you're making it about something specific, and that's not the nature of the feedback that I'm getting. Like you're making it about how do we deal with him, the anti-Semite?
Because you brought him up.
Hold on. I brought him up as an example. My feedback was specifically when I called one elected official, as long as you know me, an anti-Semite. Your response was, you call everybody an anti-Semite.
No. I wasn't referring to you. I wasn't referring to
you were referring to you Jews. And I'm giving you the feedback. What you did.
You guys.
Hold on. Isa, hear me. What you did by taking my comment and turning it into you, whoever you were pointing to, literally it was the Jews by your own admission, called everything anti-Semitic, literally is an anti anti-Semitic trope. The fact that you went there.
Well, then call me anti-Semite too. I mean, like, that's the only step that is left. No, call me anti-Semite.
So now you're still avoiding the feedback, right? I'm not calling you an anti-Semite. I'm trying to help you to understand what you did inadvertently is anti-Semitic.
I don't care.
I'm trying to help you to understand that.
I don't care because that is exactly how I stand by my principles. And to me, throwing labels in a conversation or throwing labels to people just easily like that, it's just like it
It's not throwing labels. It's not throwing it.
Take your own advice. Your own advice would have been that you respond to me saying Vance is an anti-Semite. I don't think he's an anti-Semite because of X, Y, and Z. Not to say, effectively, you Jews see anti-Semites
I didn't say you Jews.
That is what you guys. Because if you aren't speaking to me, then we're not speaking to. Because you said clearly you were not speaking directly to me. Because I clearly don't do that.
Okay, can I interrupt? Hold on, Shirley. I'm not going to have anyone controlling my speech just the same way that I don't control your speech.
Who's controlling you? I'm talking to you as a friend.
I was giving you my impression.
I wish we could control you. We cannot.
I am explaining.
You're Latino. We can't control you.
I am explaining why I don't like this type of argumentation in the same way.
I'm explaining why I don't like you.
Can I please finish my fucking point? In the same way that it causes me like itchiness as well, the whole racist label. I don't like it. I don't like it when we're talking. I don't care if you're racist or you're not racist. But when somebody throws the racist label, it's like shutting down the conversation. I don't like it. And I don't like it when
my valid and very infrequently used right to label someone who wants to see my children dead anti-Semite is delegitimized based on the behavior of other people because that's what you don't like in your essence. It's appropriation that you mad at.
And it's not throwing labels, it's labeling.
Do you think
it's labeling, it's not throwing labels.
Do
Yes.
I think he's aligned with people who want my children. Yes.
You think J.D. Vance wants your children dead?
Yeah,
not J.D. Vance.
How many times do I have to ask? How many times do you want to ask? Yes, absolutely. Someone who
it's basically having no empathy for Jews, okay? That is about anti-Semitism. It's having no empathy. It's been dehumanizing them and legitimizing their targeting. So I don't think that he wants, but if they were dead, I'm not sure that he will go out protesting or like do too much. I don't know specifically about him. I'm talking about generally anti-Semites.
I agree with you, honey. Like I have told you that to me, like I was even more allergic before to the word anti-Semite. But lately, after seeing everything that's been happening and how people are actually trying to hide behind certain terms and whatever, and that it's not about really having an ideological opposition, whatever, but it's just because it's Jews behind something, they are opposed to it. I can agree with you that
and you should also assume that we are more sensitive to recognizing it than maybe you. So if we call something anti-Semite, anti-Semitic, it's not necessarily obvious to you. And then what I would suggest is, instead of like shutting it down or throw it out the window, ask, for example, Jeff, like, why do you say it's anti-Semitic? And then he would probably be able to reason why he's saying it, because we are not throwing labels. We are labeling when we identify it.
And that's exactly what I did. Now, then I remember why Jeff was saying that J.D. Vance was an anti-Semite, and I don't think that makes him an anti-Semite. But yeah, well,
someone who denies the existence of anti-Semitism, what would you call that? Like who fundamentally denies what's plainly obvious that there are anti-Semites.
I would call him a politician. I would call him trying to get people not riled up, to get some fucking balance, because everybody's killing each other. So that's what I would call him. There might be some other reason.
Who are the Jews killing? Who are the Jews killing with their claims of anti-Semitism?
When I mean people killing each other, it's not Jews killing others, but people are.
Right, exactly. So we're carrying.
They're fighting.
So we're carrying the tree.
The temperature is high.
The whole back and forth thing is you can't hear me.
temperature is high, Jeff.
Okay, I want to make a point.
And sometimes, just one last thing, sometimes these things that of anti-Semitism or whatever, you think you're helping yourself, but what is creating is more resistance. And
Yeah, you know better.
Potentially, it's making it harder for you guys.
I mean, you happen to know, like Daniel and I are not running around throwing around the term.
I know.
But and you respect us unless we actually, because of our convictions and how we see the world, which you respect, use the term anti-Semitism, and then you completely repudiate our agency to use that word.
I didn't repudiate it.
You literally
to say anything.
You literally said, essentially, you use that term all the time. Like you're going against your own principles with how you respond. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. You know, no one's perfect, but you are going against your own principles with how you responded to me saying I think JD Vance is an anti-Semite.
Well, I think I think you're lowering the bar too much by calling JD.
No, you just disagree with me. You just disagree with me. Again, by saying I'm lowering the bar, right? What you're doing is you're invalidating my right to judge for myself as a Jew what a Jew is.
I can validate your feelings, but I will still disagree with you, and I will still tell you that
you can disagree with me. You can say I don't think he's an anti-Semite because of takana. What you can't do is respond and say your standards for what an anti-Semitism are too low. You can say I disagree.
I think you're lowering the bar. I'm not invalidating your feelings. You might feel threatened by him. You might feel that he wants to kill your children, and you have all your right to feel afraid about anyone. But I'm just saying that I believe that is lowering the bar, and when you lower the bar so much, then it becomes nothing.
Yeah, and when you say me or Jews lower the bar to call someone an anti-Semite, what you're doing is invalidating every use of the term anti-Semite by every Jew. This is why this is an anti-Semitic
canard. I am talking about this specific situation. I'm telling you why.
But you're not. You're speaking of my criteria generally.
It's my fucking opinion. This is the reason why I say that. Yeah, in the same way that I'm not gonna tell you how to feel about someone that you believe is gonna go and knock your door and kill your children. I'm not going to be either policed on what shall I think and what should my opinion be. I don't think JD Vance is an anti-Semite. I think I can understand the whole reasoning behind calling him an anti-Semite or what anti-Semitism means. In fact, I have come around to be more accepting of that because I have observed and I have seen what it actually is meaning in these days. But I think that as a politician, he needs to lower the temperature. And I disagree with you. I don't think he's an anti-Semite.
I mean, that's fine. I think it's completely valid to disagree the way you're going about disagree.
I've got several things I'd like to interject here.
Yeah, go ahead, Shirley.
Okay. This is a statement. I'm going to make another statement. From Issa's, if I was going to understand what Issa is saying, it would be when you use the term anti-Semite, and I'm not accusing you of this, Jeff, because I haven't seen you do it. But when I initially got on this app, anyone who wanted to shut me down called me a white supremacist. So if you
that's common.
Okay, so if she's saying that's what's happening with the anti-Semitism statement, I get what she's saying. You want to stop?
I get what she's saying too.
Okay, but now I want to shift. I do believe that there's an extreme right in the Republican Party, and I haven't observed it myself, but they seem to like these really extreme right people seem to like JD Vance. So that is kind of scary, and he might talk in a way because he wants to continue to get their support. Now, I'm going to give Issa the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is what JD Vance is doing. Then I'm going to say another thing that's just completely off base, and nobody can judge me too badly about it because it'll make me sound ugly. Indians are very racist people. It's in their religion. It's in their religion. They categorize people, and I've had a lot of Indian friends, and they're racist people. And he's married to this woman, and so you're sitting there. So you have to sit back and go, You have to kind of question that. And I'm not saying that I don't like her. I like my friends that are Indian, but they're fucking anti-Semites and racist. And the only reason any of my Indian friends thought I was acceptable was because I was married to a dentist. That made me acceptable. I wasn't one of those just redneck white people. Okay, so I've had that experience. Okay, but now, Jeff, I want to ask you, because I haven't observed it. I've heard that these people like him, so that makes me question him, and then it makes me question maybe he's doing what Issa is saying. He's trying to keep their support. I don't want somebody that is truly anti-Semitic as president of the United States. So it's kind of, to me, a problem. But Jeff, what has he specifically said? If you could put your finger on it to make me know for sure that he is actually an anti-Semite.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago at the TPUSA rally, he said that 99% of Republicans are not anti-Semites. 97% of Democrats are not anti-Semites. There is no anti-Semitism problem in America. It's merely the American people reacting to what they see as unjust policy towards Israel. He completely erased the idea that anti-Semitism exists in America and converted it into anti-Israelism, which frankly is nothing but anti-Semitism rebranding.
When you have people saying "river to the sea" in front of Jewish dormitories, it completely erases that as a reality. I have been shocked. I didn't really realize, because I'm from the South, and we've discussed this. We are taught as children that anti-Semitism is incorrect. I didn't really realize it, but when you see these children, these moronic children in front of those dorms behaving that way, you know that there is. When they want to complain about the fact that we give money to Israel, oh, by the way, they give it back to us to buy arms. It's ridiculous.
Right, and so with that statement, not only did he repudiate Trump's policies, but he also legitimized all of that anti-Semitic hate that happened in front of all those dormitories. He legitimized the expression in front of the synagogue last week in New York that even Mamdani repudiated for whatever reason. Because he went out there and he said, we have no problem of anti-Semitism. We almost don't even have any anti-Semites. At best, it's 3% of the population. Like, it's just simply not true, and he's not a dumb man. And his intention is, frankly, to keep the support of the anti-Semites. But, you know, if you're going to placate the anti-Semites by denying anti-Semitism, what does that make you?
Well, it's ridiculous. It does make you look at least ridiculous. And I'm not, that is part of the reason I was so upset by, I'm not Kirk. What's his name? Who is the kid that just, Charlie Kirk. That's part of the reason why it was so upsetting to me, because he did stand with Israel, and he was pushing back on the extreme right in our party, and so that's what made that so important.
And Shirley, it shouldn't be lost on you. He made this speech from Charlie Kirk's podium at TPUSA.
Well, I'm not liking it, because that does not stand for what Charlie Kirk thought at all.
I mean, you're saying, what does it make him? Well, it could make him a dishonest politician. It could make him an ignorant. It could make him I don't know, a diplomat trying to lower the temperature. You have a lot of options of what that makes him. And I don't think that the only option that you can see is that he is an anti-Semite. I don't think he hates the Jews. I don't think he has any problem with Israel. In fact, he stands all the time defending Israel. So that comment, that might have been awful, that might have been a lie, that might have been dishonest, it might have been whatever you want, but I don't think that makes him an anti-Semite.
Well, I mean, that's fine. You don't have to agree.
What he said was anti-Semitic. Maybe that is something that you would accept.
You could even say that. That would be a comment that I would agree more. He said something anti-Semitic. I don't think he's an anti-Semite.
Guys, I wrapped to a play, so I will catch you later.
Where are you?
I went to the theater, darling. I went to the theater.
Theater. Enjoy, darling.
That sounds so gay.
Daniel, what play? Okay, so what do you see?
Is it a gay play or a regular play?
It's called the what?
The Chabadniks. Chabad, you know Chabad, right? We spoke about it in every shithole, like Guatemala. There's a Chabad center, so the show is called the Chabadniks.
Are you going off the deep end, Daniel?
I don't know what it means, but I'm willing to try it. I will send you a copy of the brochure later, but it's a fit. All right, talk to you later, guys.
So he'll just remember to say Moshiach now.
Okay. It should be funny. All right, ciao.
Anyway.
Okay, y'all. I have a problem with perfectionism and getting a little bit stressed over the beginning of the year because I want things to be perfect. So I have come up with a strategy. I'm going to try to be perfect 100 days this year, not the whole year. Do you think that'll help?
I'm not really sure. What did you say? That would help? About your perfectionism and your
say committing to doing something 100 times this year instead of thinking, I'm going to do it every year, every day.
I think you should set your expectations lower and then overachieve. If you're a little under a third, I think it should be like 20%, and then you'll overachieve and you'll feel better about yourself.
I like
you have
that.
a problem of over-promising and under-delivering.
Yes.
Under estimate and over-deliver, and that's the recipe for mental success.
This is what I'm aiming at. Under-promising and over-delivering. I like that. That's good. You're welcome.
Worked well for me.
Is it a strategy of yours?
Yeah, I learned it early. I learned it early on. I used to come home with hundreds in math tests, and my mom would say, math test was too easy. I worked really hard studying, whatever. So then I would knock off a few points and come home with like 96 or 97, 98, something like that. Wow, you studied hard for it. That's amazing. So, you just leave a few points off, over-deliver, it always looks better.
Oh, Yaakov, that's amazing.
Yeah, but she did that to me. That's setting up for a whole life of angst.
Hey.
I think your mother was anti-Semitic.
Listen, Yaakov, I am not as brilliant as you, but my father, if you made an A, why wasn't an A+? It kind of in the same...
Technically. My mom would have been like, why wasn't I higher? Mama, there's nothing to figure about 100.
I think your brain is anti-Semitic, Jess. Your emotions I think your emotions are anti-Semitic.
Probably not.
Yeah, you know why? Because they make me hate you.
Oh,
I mean, you only hate me when I point out anti-Semites. Otherwise, you're kind of a big fan.
Once the sexual tension goes off, you guys will go back to liking each other.
Are you saying there's more sexual tension when she's saying she hates me, or when she isn't?
No, she hates you. Like, it's a sign of sexual tension.
It gets pretty thick?
Yeah.
Maybe she wants to be colonized, Jacob.
Yeah, exactly that.
She wants to be occupied.
No, hey now. I figured that, I'd have to do dinner or something first. The colonization process is very important before you occupy.
Yeah, I want Jeff to call me anti-Semitic harder. Call me anti-Semite harder, Jeff.
That won't work. I don't actually think you are.
Yeah, because I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I might say things that people don't agree with, but that doesn't mean I hate Jews, you know? I mean, I hate you a little bit.
Are you going back to the land of 47?
Yeah, that's just because you're a Jew.
Now that you said I hate you again, I agree with Jacob. A lot of sexual tension.
Yeah, exactly. Number one sign.
Yeah.
Jacob,
One day,
it's a burger you and I share.
Yeah.
I'm like kicking them away.
Yeah, I mean.
Hello, this call is from the Illinois Department of Employment Security regarding a request for a courtesy callback. We respectfully request that you save this number, 800-244-5631, into your contacts so that you will recognize and answer our call next time we attempt to reach you. IDES thanks you for your continued patience and understanding. We look forward to speaking with you.
حاولت ارفعوني این حاولت ارفعونی آخر ز کجا آمد آخر ز کجا آمد هنگام بیکاره هنگام امداد خدا بلندی امداد خدا بلندی بر لشکر ما آمد بر لشکر ما آمد هنگام بیکاره هنگام بیکاره الگوی شما یاران عباس علم دارد ایثار و فداکاری سرلاغه پیکارد هم مهدی زهرا برد این جبه سپه دارد خوش موسم دیداره فرمانده ما آمد فرمانده ما آمد فرمانده ما
It's like flies to shit sometimes, Jacob. It's a lot of responsibility.
Who are you calling? Who is the fly and who is the shit?
You're the fly, I'm the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We're the shit, you're the fly.
That's anti-Semitic as well.
Oh.
I mean, maybe.
It's like moth and flame. Who do you think is a moth and who do you think is a flame?
Yeah. Anyway.
Isa, take some medicine. You sound terrible all of a sudden.
I know, yeah. I already took a tablet right now. I think that my fever is back, but I'm not going to feel like shit anymore. Like, my mindset is good. Like, I am strong. I am healthy. I'm recovered.
I am woman.
I am woman. I was just Googling this thing that Daniel is going to watch, and I think it has like a vibe like the Book of Mormon.
We prescribe a friend. We are wisdom and healing, roasted meat and the star canopus. We are ground and spilled wine soaking in. When illness comes, we cure it. For sadness, we prescribe a friend. For death, a friend. Run to meet us on the road. We stay modest and we bless. We look like this. But this is a tree. And we are morning wind in the leaves that makes the branches move. Silence turning now into this. Now that.
It says a popular musical comedy in Israel titled The Chabadnikim, also known as The Hasidic Couple, premiered in 2022. The show is about two 23-year-old twin brothers from Kfar Chabad who must find brides. When one brother cannot find a match, they both venture into the secular world of Tel Aviv, leading to a comedic clash of cultures. Sounds very similar to the Book of Mormon. Oh yeah, it says here. It says, musical comedy often compared to a Jewish Book of Mormon. Due to its lighthearted satire of religious life. What?
Is that the play or a movie?
No, a play, a musical.
A gay musical or is it the musical?
Musical. It says tackle serious social issues including homosexuality within Hasidic communities, immigrant workers, and the shidduch, the matchmaking system. All with a humorous and light touch. Oh, I should bring this thing also to the West.
All right, so
Not that this is a reputable source, but I am reading that Trump is set to give a speech on Iran from Detroit, which would be an interesting place to give it.
What is he doing in Detroit?
I mean, he's the president of Detroit.
I think very interesting. What's that town like right next door that's like fully Arabic? If you go there.
Dearborn.
Dearborn. There we go. Dearborn.
At what time does it say?
What is MIGA? M-I-G-A.
Make Iran gay again.
Okay. I'm further gays in Iran as much as Ahmadinejad wants to protest Iran. Have a good day, guys.
You leaving? Oh, he left. Also, they're doing European dates, a tour. Oh, I would love to watch this one, but I'm sure it's in Hebrew. Oh, it says for Israeli productions. Oh no. Canadian theater. Jeff, at what time is he going to speak?
I don't have that information. But if what I'm reading is correct, it seems as though all the decisions are being decided today. There's also been some leaks that indicate that, I mean, this is accurate. The source is not typically that accurate. But that part of the issue is Russia was able to deliver them some S-400 units, which F-35 is a little bit less safe operating here from Russia. And there's also a claim that Iran nuclear capability is 60 days off.
Yeah, I also don't think that we will ever know when they're going to strike. He always likes the element of surprise.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. The Egyptian government welcomed the designation of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt as terrorists.
Can you repeat?
The Egyptian government supports the U.S. designating the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood as global terrorists.
Oh, that's good. But it's what I was telling you before, that I think that Trump is aligning everyone behind his puzzle, and yeah, they already committed to all of this shit. Qatar has also been silent, about Iran and everything. Somebody was asked, I think it was Meyer asking me the other day in another room, like whether Qatar, that it's surprising how Qatar has been silent, and I'm like, I don't think it's surprising at all. Like, Qatar is right now playing quote unquote Switzerland. Just stay quiet because they must have agreed some things with Trump before they signed the guarantees agreement.
Well, Qatar is thrilled that the U.S. potentially will get involved with Iran.
From sweetheart, they would welcome me. But
Not with this prophecy talk. It's like a blood-soaked bandage on a donkey's back. The one who removes it is being helpful. But he's going to get kicked. No one here wants to be healed. Show me someone who wants what I have. But let's suppose for a moment that my inspiration is not divine. Still, you would agree my speaking is not inferior to the workings of a bee. The Quran says God scoffed at me by echoing.
Incorporating these anti-Semitic tests.
Did you see the size of that? He scoffed at me by echoing what I say. If I brought them news of money, love no friend, sweetheart, they would welcome me. But not with this prophecy talk. It's like a blood-soaked bandage on a donkey's back. The one who removes it is being helpful. But he's going to get kicked. No one here wants to be healed. Show me someone who wants what I
Arabs and the Arabs have no love, affection for Iran at all.
But do you think it is true, or it is just like conveniently in the strategic view, of their alliances, economic alliances in the world? Because they're still Islam, and they still support each other.
So you have to remember that the Sunni don't see Shias as really being Muslim. Or at best, they see them the same way you see Protestants, right? So, if you had an extreme Protestant country that was abusing its citizens, blah, 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 somewhere in South America, and, America decided they needed to pursue regime. Let's say Venezuela was actually run by fundamentalist Protestants, would your country be like, as Catholics, we oppose this. We share a profit. No, they don't give a shit.
Well,
and they also geopolitically, Iran's bullshit. Hostile. Iran is hostile to a threat to Arab countries.
Yeah, but also to have to remember that Islam doesn't just hold on one second, Faisal. Islam sees the religion in a different way that we Christians do, and for them it is more important to have Muslims and have them doing the right thing the right way, but ultimately Islam is over any other interest. Like, they're not gonna go and, well, yeah, actually they kill each other. Sorry, go ahead, Faisal.
Why do we have almost 2 million Saudi Shias in Saudi Arabia? That's more than the population of Shias in Lebanon, Kuwait, Bahrain, and another country combined. If that's
I don't know what that's responsive to.
So you're taking a minimalizing perspective on the disagreement, essentially, between Sunnis and extreme Alawites who think that Ali is God, essentially, who had, like, literally had become as bad of Muslims in interpreting Islam as the Nation of Islam's people in America who think God is 7 black men or so. Yeah, other than that, people who just have more reverence, Shias, who have more reverence to the family of the Prophet, the Sunnis see them as other Muslims, but they differ in some theological perspective on Islam.
So maybe it would help to understand what I was responding to. So the question was, or the statement was, it's surprising Qatar isn't, advocating more for Iran because they share Islam. And my point was, yes, they share Islam, but they don't share the same Islam, and therefore they're not likely to advocate to support Iran because they don't care that much about Shia or a Shia country that they see as being kind of an apostate version of Islam. So that's what I was responding to. Does that make more sense to you now, Faisal?
It discounts when our foreign affairs minister will speak out every time an American attack happens on Iran, like Saudi Arabia does the same. They speak out against it. Like, they don't just like Iran and therefore the geographical area around them just to be messed up by those.
Okay, I'm not really sure what that's responding to, but sure, they write a note after the fact. That's true. Hello, Seth.
Hello, Jeff.
How are you, Seth?
I'll be better after this coffee.
I'm not.
Man, fuck Iran, bro. Fuck Iran. And yeah, like, most of the Gulf countries have a sizable Shia population, and it's not, like, it doesn't make sense that these countries just see themselves as Sunni countries and they want to speak out for the Shias. That's not the case.
No, I mean, I'm not suggesting that they, are ethnically cleansing Shia in Sunni countries, but they definitely see themselves as Sunni countries, with the exception of, why do I always forget the name of that little island? I want to say Baghdad, but that's not right. What's the little island I'm thinking of?
So perhaps Saudi Arabia was at a certain point, to a huge extent, but not fully. They still, like, for example, allowed
Anyways, what was that? He saw someone in real life and had to say, Salam alaikum.
I agree to a family member. Anyways, they allowed Shias to continue to practice their faith under the table, essentially, through the Wahhabist time. But nowadays, as you know, things have progressed in Saudi Arabia, and the same ministry that overlooks the opening of mosques is the same one that does it for the Husseiniya, the place where she has essentially prayed.
I'm not suggesting there's widespread. I'm not suggesting there's widespread oppression of Shias throughout the Sunni world. Like, I'm simply saying that religious difference is enough that most Arab countries are not going to bend over, are not going to kill themselves to try to protect Iran. Plus, Iran is a regional threat that has no problem attacking Sunni countries and occupying them. So, like,
I suggest that the latter takes precedence before the former.
Well, that's fair. That's true. That's an accurate statement. But both things are, in fact, true. I mean, the only place you really see hostility between Sunni and Shia inside of a country to any magnitude, I mean, I guess in Iraq you still have it, and also Lebanon. But besides that, well, I guess also Syria. But besides that, everybody seems okay, largely. What is that? Why? I don't know why I can never remember the name of this fucking little country.
I keep saying that the majority of Muslim people are more different than the average Christians. Like, they practice their religion every once in a while. Perhaps they go to the mosque, perhaps they don't, or so on. But their everyday life is not all that much different, like for other sects of Islam. So that's where the tolerance comes from.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the ways that's true, it's very true. I think there's also some ways that Muslims are different, but you know, it is what it is. I think most people at the end of the day are like fairly moderate in their approach in things, but you know, certainly there's a difference in ideology. So, you know, to be a moderate Christian just means you don't go to church very much. To be a moderate Muslim also means you don't go to mosque very much. But, you know, at the end of the day, the ideal of Christianity and the ideal of Islam are very, very different ideals. So being a moderate Muslim probably means you don't support terror, or at least not that much, or maybe you don't support it that often.
Or like, you understand where it comes from, but you don't think it should go to that extreme.
I mean, yeah, if you're informed, but I mean, the ideals of the theology, unfortunately, do promote it. So yeah, in practice, people are pretty much the same, mostly, but the ultimate goals of the worldview of Christianity and Islam are very different. So I do appreciate moderate Muslims for not being less moderate, because less moderate Muslims are very dangerous. Less moderate Christians just don't dance.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know. The Christians occasionally bomb an abortion clinic. I mean, there is that. But
well, I don't know if they're theologically that different at their core, you know what I mean?
Well, that's because you're a dumb cunt disease.
I just think it's not, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day...
When did Jesus lead an army and massacre the inhabitants of another country?
Well, you know, I mean, it manifested itself as the Crusades. You know, that's not exactly wholesome.
Oh, okay, but was that Jesus?
Well, you know, the Islamic expansion, 80% of the Islamic expansion of the religion was post the death of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
80%? Is that a real number, or did you make that up?
No, that's
I think you consulted for based on what? Based on population forced to convert? Based on
that. Well, you can't force people to convert in Islam, so you actually can't.
Yeah, just like that, it happens. It's really interesting.
Right, exactly. So
I'm I'm going to interrupt you. I'm not letting it go. The Crusades, I'm getting tired of that CRAP because the Muslims came first into Europe. And they were trying to convert Europe. They went into Spain. Mm-hmm. It was a reaction to that, so just let that argument go.
But is it a forced conversion? That's the question. I mean, you're allowed
there were forced conversions in Andalusia. Yes, 100%.
Well, what you need to think about is the fact, like, say, for example, you have a friend, right, and he tells you...
I don't need to think about it. You do.
It was forced conversion.
Hear me out.
It was forced conversion.
Right. So, Andre, it was forced.
For two reasons.
I'm conceding.
Number one, it was under stress, population under stress, and secondly, it was okay.
I'm conceding it was forced, but you're not listening to my point. Imagine you have a friend and he tells you he's vegetarian, and then he keeps going to a steakhouse, right? And and then he happens to just go on a killing spree one day. You wouldn't say, "Oh, I just don't like vegetarians." You know what I mean? It's kind of like...
Well, it really depends. Aziz, if my friend was reading a book and finding wisdom and knowledge in this book written by a vegetarian who had a hit, and in this book it talked about how this vegetarian actually led a killing spree of meat eaters all over South America, ultimately taking power over 80% of South America, where they banned the eating of meat unless you paid a special tax. Then I would make that comparison because he's idealizing a very violent man who has ideals that promote more violence. Yes. I would make that conclusion in that case.
Right. So you
have that book in your pocket.
Right, and he's obviously clearly misunderstood where it says you cannot forcibly convert. There is no compulsion. You cannot murder innocents. You cannot. If you're not following the rules, then I think you need to. It's like we can't be mad at. We're not mad at the Beatles for being inspired by Helter Skelter when Charles Manson went on a killing spree, right? We're not mad at the Beatles. We're not mad at.
No, we're not mad. We're not mad at the Beatles, but
for the death of
again. Yeah, I mean, you're not. I mean, the great sign that I've made a good point is when you try to change the subject or try to push the goalpost.
No,
like the fact of the matter is, your example with the vegan is really good. If he was a follower of a violent vegan expansionist like Muhammad was.
Right, but the reason the only reason I'm making that point is because you're making a distinction between the religions, and I'm simply saying
I'm making a distinction between the prophets. I don't have any problem with Islam as being a valid framework of a religion. I think the example of a violent warlord who led expansionist raids to be compared to Jesus, if I was Christian, I'd be quite offensive. I'd be quite offended because Jesus, while was problematic in some ways for the authorities and certainly for the Jews of the time, he is an excellent example of that. I think Christians should be proud to try to emulate.
I agree.
Whereas Muslims, many of which are fine people, in spite of the fact that they're taught to emulate their perfect prophet who committed mass atrocities on three continents.
Well, Jesus was a pacifist, and the Prophet peace be upon him, Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him. He was a leader in a time of wars. We're not Muslim, you know what I mean? So very different.
He initiated all those wars. Here's what Aziz, this is what kills me about Muslims. You're kufa. You're going to mischaracterize the Quran just to protect the image that you think the Westerners need to hear about Islam. Be proud. He was a very...
I'm very proud of the battles that he won. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the battles. I'm very proud of First of all, let me just educate you. Taqiyya is only... You can only do Taqiyya if you're affair of your life and somebody asks you what religion you are. That's the only instance you can use Taqiyya, by the way. It has to be at knife point.
It's true. Yeah, just like you said. It's true. Muslims misunderstand Muslim versions too.
We don't have that.
He's an idiot.
But you know what's such an interesting thing, Jeff, is that this is actually a very good point. So Aziz is very proud of all the brutalities and conquests of Muhammad. Most of the Christians actually shy away from the Crusades. They don't think that's the best representation of their religion. They don't want to be associated with any atrocities that were committed during the period or, in the name of their God. And this is a completely different paradigm that makes tons of sense.
All right. So if you know the year that the Prophet was born in, you call it in Arabic. Do you know what is it called, Jeff? Feed.
What year he was born?
It's termed, regardless of what is the number of it, like it's termed.
I forget the term. You're talking about trust. 22, but I don't know if
when he was born. It's called Am al-Fil. That translates to the year of the elephant. And why was it called that? Because it was told that by that year, on the very same year before the Prophet was born, an Abyssinian general came into Mecca, to the region with an army led by him on an elephant, and he was trying to take over. So to say that the Prophet or the people of the Prophet initiated wars, they didn't feel threatened by multiple expanding kingdoms. Well, you have the Romans, you have the Persians, and even the Abyssinians, even the Africans did that. It's a bit silly, like to take the context of that. In any day, you would have been annexed essentially and been eaten by other growing powers. So I think it's really only a happenstance of history that Jesus died a bit too early, for him to grow the numbers of his followers and for him to be a leader and then act on for the defense of his followers and people. Like, I think it's only a matter of happenstance, but you can't just say, that perfect child didn't kill anyone. He died when he was 3 years old. Like, obviously, if things didn't play out on an equal footing for you to compare two people, then you can't just say, that the person A didn't do this and that, when he didn't live long enough to prove that he actually would never resort to these expansionist motives.
Bearing in mind, the Prophet was part of a tribe called the Quraysh, who were a noble tribe, right? They were considered like wealthy in the region, and he rejected his nobility for the common man. He said, "We are the same." That's why we walk around the Kaaba. You know, when we walk around the Kaaba, that was the destruction of the idols. There was actually idols within the Kaaba, the black box that we walk around. This is a representation of the end of, polytheism and the idol of the oneness of God. Right? So this is like a mischaracterization and a great criticizing we made about the timing and happenstance. You know, there was a lot.
Yeah, he's way smarter than you.
He is way smarter than you.
So the one, I mean, your argument that if Jesus lived longer, he might have invaded other places is like kind of a silly argument, but
as a motive to defend his people, like secure.
Sorry, Jeff, really quickly. The whole idea was to be a pacifist for Jesus. The very reason why he was mostly rejected, whether rightfully or not rightfully, that's a completely different discussion, by the Jewish community, is that he did not represent the type of Messiah that they expected. They expected the warrior. He was different, and so that argument just falls flat on its feet.
Yeah, and also,
does it hold on? Like wasn't Jesus quoted like in the Bible?
بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه دیدار پدر آب حیاتم میدهد عمه دیدار پدر آب حیاتم میدهد چهره نورانیش از غم نجاتم میدهد چهره نورانیش از غم نجاتم میدهد جای عمویم پدر آب فراتم میدهد گر بیاید میکند ایراد دفلان تو را شیهه اسب پدر ای عمه می آید به گوش شوق دیدار پدر کرد از سر من عقل و هوش این صدا می افکند در خیمه ها جوش و خروش آمد از میدان سالا حسابه خیر النسا عمه بابایم کجا 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 بر زمین زلجنا بر عطر انسان میزنی پای خود را بر زمین نالان و گریان میزنی با قامت زخمی فوزون در قلب طفلان میزنی در حرمت شیه اثر کبرا بپا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا زلجنا بر کوچه را زینت این شد واژگون کوچه را ای بابا دانه تو گشته پر ز خون چون کنم باور که از تو باب من گشته کوچه اینت زلجنا باب من افتاده کجا زلجنای مهربان به وفادار پدر گوشنیدی در دم آخر تو گفتار پدر بوسه باران میکنم یاد پدر یاد تو را عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا ای خدا بابا چرا بر خاکا افتاده است ای خدا بابا چرا بر خاکا افتاده است کی به حلقش از جفا شمشیر کین بنهاده است کی به حلقش از جفا شمشیر کین بنهاده است آبایا در دم آخر ورا چه داده است آبایا در دم آبایا در دم آخر ورا چه داده است یا که شدی کشته لب افشان ز جور اشقیا یا که شد کشته لب افشان ز جور اشقیا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا عمه بابایم کجا بهتری 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 مرا سواران لحظه ای تمکین نکردن ترحم بر من مسکین نکردن سواران از سر نعشم گذشتن فغانها کردن اما بر نگشتن اسیر و زخمی و بی دست پا من رفیقان این چه سودا بود با من رفیقان رسم هم دردی کجا رفت جوان مردی کجا رفت مرا این پشت مگذارید بیتاب گناهم چیست پایم بود در خواب اگر دیر آمدم مجروح بودم اسیر قبض و بسط روح بودم اگر دیر آمدم مجروح بودم اسیر قبض و بسط روح بودم در باغ شهادت را نبندی به ما بیچارگان زان سو نخندی در باغ شهادت را نبندی به ما بیچارگان زان سو نخندی رفیقانم دعا کردند و رفتند مرا زخمی رها کردند و رفتند رها کردند در زندان بمانم دعا کردند سرگردان بمانم شهادت نردبان آسمان بود شهادت آسمان را نردبان بود چرا برداشتن این نردبان را چرا بستند راه آسمان را چرا برداشتند این نردبان را چرا بستند راه آسمان را مرا پایی به دست نردبان بود مرا دستی به بام آسمان بود شهید تو بالا رفته ای من در زمینم برادر تو سیاهم شرمگینم برادر تو سیاهم شرمگینم مرا اسب سپیدی بود روزی شهادت را امیدی بود روزی در این اطراف دوش دل تو بودی نگهبان بی شب غافل تو بودی بگو اسب سپیدم را که دزدی امیدم را که دزدی امیدم را که دزدی مرا اسب چموشی بود روزی شهادت می فروشی بود روزی شبی چون باد بر یالش خزیدم به سوی خانه صافی دویدم 40 شب را بی وقت راندم 40 تفسیر صافی نامه خواندم ببین ای دل چقدر اینقدر زیباست گمانم خانه صافی همینجا گمانم خانه صافی همینجا دلم تا دست بر دامان در زد دو دستی سنگ شیون را به سر زد امیدم مشت نومیدی به در کن نگاهم قفل در میخ قدر کن که در دست این که در فصل عقاقی به روی عاشقان در بست صافی به روی عاشقان در بست صافی بر در این دروای من قفلی لجوج بر این دروای من قفلی لجوج است به جوش ای عشق هنگام خروج است در میخانه را گیرم که بستند کلیدش را چرا یارب شکستند کلیدش را چرا یارب شکستند کلیدش را چرا یارب شکستند کردند در زندان بمانم دعا کردند سرگردان بمانم من آخر طاقت ماندن ندارم من آخر طاقت ماندن ندارم خدایا تا به جان کندن ندارم خدایا تا به جان کندن ندارم دلم تا چند یارب خسته باشد در لطف تو تا کی بسته باشد در لطف تو تا کی بسته باشد بیا باز این شب دل در بکوبیم بیا این بار محکم تر بکوبیم بیا باز این شب دل در بکوبیم بیا این بار محکم تر بکوبیم مکوب ای دل به تلخی دست بر دست در این قصر بلور آخر کسی هست در این قصر بلور آخر کسی هست بکوب ای دل که اینجا قصر نور است بکوب ای دل مرا شرم حضور است بکوب ای دل.
Hey, Honey Badger, look who's here, Mr. Big Guy. How's the most argumentative man in the world?
Yes, I am the most interesting man on this.
No, I said argumentative. Are you this argumentative with people in your real life?
I'm listening to some Mozart right now. I'm having a hard time.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. You say I'm the most interesting man on this app. Is that?
Oh my God. Hi, this is John.
Hey, John. This is Chris Roberts with Voter Ping. Just wondering.
Chris, I gotta hop off the call. You said Voter Ping?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I gotta hop off the call. If you could call me back in like a couple hours, I'm expecting an urgent call. I apologize.
Yep.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
در شرم دارم شرم دارم بکوب ای دل که جای شک و زن نیست مرا هر چند روی در زدن نیست کریمان گرچه ستار العیوبن گدایانی که محبوبند خوبند گدایانی که محبوبند خوبند بکوب ای دل مشو نومید از این در بکوب ای دل بار دیگر دلا پیشای تا داغت بگویم بگو شب قصه ای شیرین بگویم برون آیی اگر از حفره ناز به رویت میگشایم سفره راز به رویت میگشایم سفره راز نمیدانم بگویم یا نگویم دلا بگذار تا حالا نگویم ببخش ای خوب امشب ناتوانم خطا در رفت از دست زبانم لطیفا رحمت آور من ضعیفم قوی تر از من از امشب حریفم شبی تر که محبت گفته بودم میان دره شب خفته بودم نیم از ناله شیرین سگی بود سرم بر خاک طاقت سر نمیسود زبانم حرف با حرفی نمیزد سکوتم ظرف بر ظرفی نمیزد نگاهم خال در جایی نمیکوب به چشمم اشک غم تایی نمیکوب دل دلم در سینه قفلی بود محکم کلیدش بود در دریاچه غم کلیدش بود در دریاچه غم امیدم گرد امیدی نمیگشت شبم دنبال خورشیدی نمیگشت حبیبم قاصدی از پی فرستاد پیامی با بلوری می فرستاد که میدانم تو را شرم حضور است مشو نومید اینجا قصر نور است مشو نومید اینجا قصر نور است الا ای عاشق اندوهگینم نمیخواهم تو را غمگین ببینم نمیخواهم تو را غمگین ببینم اگر آه تو از جنس نیازم در باغ شهادت باز است در باغ شهادت باز است در باغ شهادت باز است نمیدانم که در سر این چه سوداست همین اندازه میدانم که زیباست خداوندا چه درد است این چه درد است که فولاد دلم را آب کرده است مرا ای دوست شرم بندگی کش چه لطف است این مرا شرمندگی کش چه لطف است این مرا شرمندگی کش
شیر مردان خدا کرب و بلا در انتظار است قسمت دوم
What you've been given. How can we know the divine qualities from within if we know only through metaphors? It's like when virginal young people ask what sex feels like and you answer like candy. So sweet. The suchness of sex comes with being inside the pleasure. So whatever you say about mysteries, I know or I don't know, both are close to being true. Neither is quite a lie. Someone asks, do you know the prophet Noah? You may answer, well, I've read stories in school. I've heard the legends that have come down. But only someone in Noah's state can know him. Now I hear a theologian reacting, don't get stuck in that ditch. What you have just said is absurd. And the King of Saints, the Kutub, replies, any state other than what you have experienced seems absurd. You have had certain visions. Before them, did not mysticism sound ridiculous? What you've been given has released you from prison 10 times. Won't this empty desert freedom you feel now someday be confining?
شیر مردان خدا کرب و بلا در انتظارم شیر مردان خدا
Now I lay me down to stay awake. Pray the Lord my soul to take into your wakefulness, so that I can get this one bit of wisdom clear. Grace comes to forgive and then forgive again. Grace got confused. One maddening drop, then another. You pour wine for us now like that. Remember when you poured full light all at once a whole day, you put your finger on your lips wanting quiet. But those drops who drip keep talking. It's not us. As you were killing Junaid, he said more. In each blood drop of his, a new Bastami. The first that fell on ground grew Adam. In the sky, Gabriel. Those old days you poured according to merit. Then Grace got confused, and you poured everybody some. Bread does not deserve you. Yet you lived your life for bread. You brought water and threw it at the water carrier. What you showed Moses was not fire, but a shape of consciousness. Will that Friday ever come again when you served your close friends individually? Each moment a stranger and friend meet. The bloods mix. Roses drop petals in autumn. Shy. Offer your friendship. Hi, this is John.
Mr. Kitover, this is Administrative Law Judge from the Department of Employment Security. Are you ready for the hearing today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Hold the line for a moment while I call in the employer's witness. All right, before I begin, I'd like to let you both know that this is a recorded hearing, so in order to continue, Mr. Kitover, do I have your consent to the recording?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, yes, Mr. Beers, do I have your consent? Yes, Your Honor. All right, thank you. So this is a hearing before the Illinois Department of Employment and Security Appeals Division. The docket number that I have for today is 2530974. Even though this hearing is conducted over the phone, it is a formal hearing, and as such, any testimony that the witnesses provide today that needs to be taken under an oath or affirmation. So at this moment, I'm going to ask that you both raise your right hand while I administer this oath. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Mr. Kitover, is that your oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. And Mr. Bureau, is that your oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that today's witnesses have taken the oath. So this hearing is being held today, January 13th, 2026, before Judge Tubbs at the Division Office in Springfield, Illinois. This hearing concerns, or my first order, this hearing concerns an appeal from an employment security local office determination that was dated April 29th, 2025. Wait a second. Yeah. That determination held that the evidence shows that the claimant was discharged from IRS because he was absent from work. He was absent without leave and failed to follow established leave procedures from November 2024 to March 2025. And since the reason the claimant was discharged constituted a violation of a known and reasonable company rule, the claimant was discharged for misconduct connected with the work, and the claimant is ineligible for benefits from March 23rd, 2025, and will be determined ineligible until he meets the eligibility requirements. A section of law that applies is Section 602A of the Unemployment Insurance Act. And 602A provides that an individual shall be ineligible for benefits for the week in which he has been discharged for misconduct connected with his work, and thereafter until he has become reemployed and has had earnings equal to or in excess of his current weekly benefit amount, which is 4 calendar weeks. So, Mr. Kitover, do you understand what that determination I just read means?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. And Mr. Bureau, do you also understand what that determination means?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Well, Mr. Kitover, this determination does go a little further, and it states that if you disagree with this determination, that you may submit your request for an appeal in writing, and it must be submitted to the department within 30 calendar days after the date this notice is mailed to you. So this notice was mailed to you on April 29th, 2025. That would have put a deadline to file your appeal on May 29th. I had your appeal received on September 22nd, which is about 4 months late. Is there a reason why your appeal wasn't filed in a timely manner?
Yes, Your Honor. One of a fact is I was terminated May 30th, 2025. And so that's technically my last day with the IRS. The reason why it was filed late was because I uploaded it to the Illinois Department of Employment Security website, and it said received. So I was expecting a response via mail. I never got the response, so I called up. He was shocked that I was calling so late, and I was under the understanding that it was received. So I mailed it in, and then I got a phone call back from an employee, and she explained to me the appeal process to the Board of Review and the steps that I was going to have to go to appeal this. And there were technical problems with the website, and I also was disconnected multiple times. I couldn't get through to...
Real quick here, Mr. Kitover, you understand that the website is not a way to file an appeal. You have to either mail it or fax it.
No, this was the...
No matter what you do, you cannot upload an appeal and have a valid timestamp from either the Postal Service or we'll accept the one that's on the fax machine. But when you upload a document, there's no way to tell when you started to upload it and when the upload ended. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
It doesn't work that way. That's why we don't accept it. Not for pleadings. We can accept it for evidence that doesn't have the same time constraints. But as far as pleadings go, you need to follow the rules that we have for pleadings.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please file the request by mail or fax at the address or fax number listed above.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, can I just... Your Honor, can I just add that my last day was actually May 30th, 2025, and I filed a new IDS claim on July 28th, 2025. And so even though I may have...
Sir,
Yes, Your Honor.
we're still talking about this claim that you didn't file, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I preemptively filed the claim mistakenly. My last day was May 30th, 2025, Your Honor.
Okay,
Your Honor, I wasn't actually discharged from the IRS service at that time, Your Honor. I was under a wrong impression.
Do not care. You don't have to be discharged. You don't have to be terminated. You can still be employed and file a claim. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
The fact of the matter is, Mr. Kitover, is your appeal was filed late. What that gets us to is I don't have the authority to assume for this matter because it was filed late. So I'm going to have to dismiss this case because I don't have the timely filed appeal as evidence in your case file. So I don't have jurisdiction authority to assume any jurisdiction over this matter. So I'm going to dismiss this case. I'm going to write a decision that says exactly that. This case was dismissed for a lack of jurisdiction because the appeal was filed late. Do you have any evidence to show that you did file your appeal following the rules in a timely manner or made an attempt to file the appeal following the rules in a timely manner? You can submit that evidence along with an appeal of my decision to the Board of Review. If you know how to do that, you have 30 days from the date that's going to be on my decision. So do you understand those appeal rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. And Mr. Bureau, do you understand those appeal rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. God, thank you for your time and your cooperation today. I appreciate everybody stay safe for the rest of your day.
Your Honor,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This was supposed to be the final adjudication under my understanding that I had already gone through an administrative hearing, and this was the appeal to the this was supposed to be the Board of Review appeal with Katie Newsham. Newsham.
She does not work for the Board of Review. Katie Newsham is an administrative law judge, just like I am. She was unavailable for the hearing today. Instead of rescheduling your hearing, I decided I'd go ahead and take it up for today, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, I understand, Your Honor.
If you read the Board of Review decision, the Board of Review decision says that an inadequate transcript of the prior hearing cannot be prepared for their review. So they send the case back. I know this is last.
Oh, I understand.
Whole new hearing.
Okay, I apologize, Your Honor. Thank you for explaining it.
Okay, don't worry. I'm not messing up. I know what I'm doing. I appreciate it.
Thank
My
you.
letter in the mail, you'll be fine. Everybody have a nice day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Wow. Can't believe my boss showed up to that. I know what I'm doing, buddy. What the fuck? Another trial? Oh my God. So I have to mail the evidence. I can't email it. Yes, Your Honor. I got 30 days. Now it's time to file for fucking Congress write-in candidate. Back to the to-do list, boys.
الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين خدمت فشارگزاری که تو وقت نمود سریع رسیدید چند نکته مهم بود به برادران عزیز تذکر دادیم و اولین نکته احساس شرمندگی در مقابل عظمت او میثاق‌های همه بشریت یک کودتا و یک حرکت از افسرهای رهبران و
Believes that's what's going on.
Yes. Now you've
They're killing their own people. We do not like that.
But
Don't you care about that disease, or are you just numb to this killing?
No, but loads of people are killing their own people.
What about? Well, let's talk about Iran for a second.
Loads of people are killing their own people.
Don't you care about Iran killing their own people?
I do care.
Okay, so then we care and you care. So what's really your question?
Well, what I'm asking is,
you just asked already.
Well, I'm asking is you're not like passively assisting Iran. You're actively assisting Iran. And what I'm asking is,
you mean the United States? Yes, our country
Yeah, there's an ROI. There's an ROI on this. There's an ROI.
There's a what? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but Aziz, that doesn't mean that.
Hold on, Jeff. Why are you fucking concerned?
He's not concerned.
We want Israel to help us. We're begging Israel and U.S. to help us. Why are you even like? Why are you complaining about this?
No, I just
get it.
Pattern recognition.
Like the voice of an angel.
That's a non-answer.
The voice of an angel.
You know what I think it is? I think you just hate Jewish people, and you don't care that IRGC is killing its people.
Wow.
Oh, Sarah, come on. There is no anti-Semitism on Clubhouse. There's no anti-Semitism on Clubhouse.
That's exactly what it is, Jeff. That's why they rat ate all these people.
97% of people on Clubhouse are not anti-Semites.
I don't know if my mom is alive or dead, Aziz. I don't know if my sister is alive or dead. Not because they don't have internet. Their cell phone towers are down. Homelands are down. Electricity's been out for 3-4 days. And you motherfuckers, you're not even Persian. Like, why don't you guys just shut the fuck up? We don't even want to hear you guys, like, talking about, oh, is it real? Is it real? Is this real? Like,
I'm not talking about Israel right now.
For the moment,
well, I don't know why we're talking about
tell me which one of my family members were killed this time.
But why are we talking about Jews? Like, I never mentioned the Jews. I never mentioned the Jews. Like, I don't get, like...
No, he said, is it real? She didn't say Israel. You're right.
Is it real?
He's always got Israel on the mind.
Aziz, people don't have electricity.
Must be hard to sleep.
Yeah, they've been sanctioned, darling. They've been sanctioned. They've been sanctioned for a very long time.
It's not Israel sharing the video of the dead people. It's Iran. It's IRGC. The government is sharing these videos to intimidate people. They're sharing the videos of them acting that they're in a fucking war zone, shooting at people. Let me go bring you a link. It's in Farsi. You have to go and have an AI translate it for you. But they are on the state TV. People who are in charge. They're saying we're gonna kill every single one of you guys. They are saying it. You think this is a
that's terrible. What do you?
This is their TV. This has nothing to do with internet. It's not AI. They are sharing this stuff on the.
Do you think this is your first regime change? What are we doing here?
What does that have to do with it?
What does that mean?
Well, it has everything to do with it. I mean, that's
what it has to do with it.
This is the first time we had an Islamic regime, and yes, it's fucked up. It's going to be changed. Yes.
What does it have to do with it?
So what did Mossadegh believe in? Do you know Mossadegh? What did he believe in? Who is he? Do you know? Do you know who that man is?
Well, that's going back half a century and more.
Right. That's not long. That's not a long time in the grand scheme.
It's a very long time. So what?
Well, you were alive, Numi. So
no, I wasn't alive, Azizi.
Not been that long ago.
And I have to ask about whether you're alive even right now.
Well, I'm just about surviving.
About what? Yeah. Yeah. So what is the regime change?
No, I've got to push back. I think you definitely were alive while he was in power.
Yeah, he was.
No, I don't think so.
You were.
I don't think so.
It's not about what you think.
Hold on a second. Let me see when he was actually deposed. You were alive while he was alive. I assumed he was in power until he.
Well, listen, regardless.
Okay, yeah. You missed him by a little bit, I said.
Yeah, I said more than a little bit.
Well,
But Aziz, I don't expect him to be able to do math any more than I expect him to be able to think or speak English.
Well, like I'm saying, I'm just saying, I just don't see. I don't think Iran's going to prosper. Let's just put it that way at this point.
Why not?
It's not part of the play.
Why isn't Iran going to prosper?
Because it's not about the prosperity of Iran.
Well, that's not the answer to what it's about. Why won't it prosper?
Because it's not about.
It was I don't get it. I don't think Norman's quite that old.
Yeah, it's about the destabilization.
Doesn't it bother you that you don't really have any thoughts, Aziz?
No, I'm telling you, it's about the destabilization, not the stabilization.
Well, wait, why won't it prosper?
Because it's not supposed to.
With who?
I'm going to say something wild. Can we maybe table this idiot and let Sarah tell us about what's going on with her family?
Yeah, let's talk to somebody who actually has thoughts.
Yeah, let's talk to Sarah. Sarah,
it's destable.
What's going on? What are you hearing?
Jeff, I don't know. I'm not joking with you. No one is talking to anyone. No one knows what's going on. I had I have a family member that he lives in Turkey. Like he lives between Tehran and Turkey, and I know he's in Turkey because he was posting stories and stuff, right? So I messaged him yesterday, asked him if he has heard. It's like a family, distant family, but we grew up all together. We were like very close friends. So I messaged him. I said, have you heard of anyone? Like, have you talked to anyone? I don't know a single person, Jeff. I do not know a single person who has talked to anybody. And so he told me his daughter was able to call him last night for like a minute or something. And she told him that people are still out. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened, meaning people haven't taken over the city or anything. And it's really bad. That's the only thing she was able to tell him. And then they lost connection. For some.
Yeah, I heard from one friend whose family is in Iran, and they were able to get her, I think, last night briefly.
For like an hour, some people had their cell phone. They could call from Iran to outside directly. For just like 30 minutes or an hour.
Yeah. So some people are getting brief calls out occasionally.
I'm sorry, Professor. I'm sorry.
With God's help, your family will be safe, and Iran will also be free soon.
Inshallah.
We don't know what's going on, but they've killed a lot of people, so it's going to be really, really. Everyone's going to know someone who died. They killed more people than. In 2 days. This is just for the January 10 and 11. On January 10 and 11, they have killed more people than Iran lost in a whole first year of Iran-Iraq war. This is, and there are reports. There are like Iran International says minimum 12,000. There's like BBC saying 25,000. Like, I mean, the videos. There are some videos. They're like shooting everyone. They're shooting everyone. Aziz, if you scroll up, you'll see the link I put in the chat. The guy says, "Oh, we're gonna come after every single one of you guys," And they say the rioters, but you're not allowed to protest in Iran. If you're protesting right now, at any time, if you're protesting, they call it riot, and they have scheduled to kill a guy today. They're gonna hang a guy for protesting. Not rioting, nothing. They don't have guns. People don't have anything. They're shooting people straight up in their face. It's so bad. It's very bad. And majority of the people that they've killed are younger than 30.
I heard they're also going into the hospitals and shooting people too.
They have so I saw a video. This was so sad. She's broken her head, her skull is broken, and she can't go to a hospital because they're telling people not to go to hospital. But the only good thing is that I don't know how, but people are helping each other. When I say I don't know how, is because their phones are not working. They cannot even call each other. I've heard some days people had access for internal calls, like a few hours a day or something, but they purposely disconnect all of that and electricity so people cannot help each other. And then no one's screaming genocide, and this is insane. And then there was a news, article on Facebook, and all they said was that the Iran International News Source says minimum 12,000 people been killed. And then somebody's like, oh, Israel propaganda. Someone else is like, when it's 60,000, let us know. And then these are the Palestinians. So it's like, if there is a propaganda, Aziz, it's the propaganda that these Islamist countries, they play. And the only reason they say that is because the people of Iran, it's okay for them to die because the government is defending Islam. Even those who claim they're not terrorists, they shut their mouth to support Islamic terrorist, actions. Otherwise, where are these people? 53 Muslim countries, everybody has shut their mouth. Nobody has said anything. Nobody.
Well, they're Shia, so it's like the Pope doesn't speak for the Protestants, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Is this a real guy in the chat? He's a troll, right?
I think he's a fake, personally.
Yeah, he's a fake, yeah. He must be someone
52 friends. You new friends? You new here, big guy? You've been here, really, with 53 friends? My guess is you're at least somebody we know, and you're definitely a troll.
It's not an unusual take. I've heard people have that opinion.
53 friends. He's not fucking...
No, but it's not because of that. It's because the whole vibe, the whole where he speaks.
The fake PTR picture, the whole fucking...
Yeah, it's clearly... Is this people that try to be like Jews so they can pretend to be Jews so they can say anything, but they actually are trying to mock it?
Yeah, it's like Jews for suicide, God forbid.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to take your name because he's a cunt.
My cousin. I'm getting very impatient about Trump doing something.
Yes, I know. It's
too long.
I see lots of planes in the area.
Like what kind of planes are they? Because the airspace for commercial planes.
I see
is closed,
some
right?
military airplanes around the area near Iran. Like really close.
You see a lot of militaries?
6 military
planes, huh? Yeah, I don't even think this is. Oh wait. Okay, no.
Not even team with the top.
But there is a lot less traffic in the air today. Right now. But,
yeah, but there's still military aircraft.
You know what? I don't think any of. No. I don't know about the military. No, there is a flight going from Tehran right now.
I just got off the phone with my cousin right now in Greece, Athens. There's a huge protest going on. He's there.
Where? They were able to call you?
Greece, in Athens.
Greece. Pro-Iran protest?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, the protest outside Iran has been huge. I've never seen anything like this. It's been huge. It's done though. They're gonna be gone.
There was 50,000 people marching in Toronto.
50,000 in LA yesterday.
3 days ago. Yeah, but where's the Greta Thunbergs? Where's the Susan Sarandons? Where's the Mark Ruffalo's? Where's everybody? Where's the outcry? Where for the genocide? Where's the
they didn't get the marching orders, BB, yet. They didn't get any marching orders.
Yeah,
They're told not to care yet.
They're waiting.
I have